What is up, everybody? This is Media Rehab. As always, I'm your host, Cameron. I'm here with Matt.
Soylent Greenest people.
Darren.
Hello.
And we have a new addition for this episode. What's up, Dan?
Hello again.
You might remember Dan from the first episode as that cute British guy you heard in the background talking way too low. He promised he wouldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, I did promise that.
You just did it.
I did. It's the only promise.
Just lean in. Just put that thing right in your mouth.
That's the first.
It's got a tip on it, too.
Don't think of it as a phallus. It's not a phallic symbol at all.
He speaks softly, but he carries a big stick.
It doesn't grow.
Does he?
Near
Did you
it.
feel it? You just walked right into it, man. If you're going to lob up softballs.
If it ain't on your mind, it's on your mouth.
Oh. What's up, Cam?
Oh, not much, man. What do we got going on today?
Well, I mean, we did the Talkie Award things. It was cool to be nominated. We didn't win dick, so.
Hey, but we met a lot of cool people.
A lot of cool people, actually.
The Meeting Tampa guys, Creative Tampa, whatever it was. Those
Creative
guys.
Loafing?
No, not Creative Loafing. It was Talking Tampa or something.
Yeah, it was Talking Tampa.
Yeah, those guys were awesome. We hung out with them, had a couple of beers, just shot the shit, because we all looked uncomfortable there.
Super awesome beach pirate guy was cool.
Oh, yeah, super awesome beach pirate. He's got music.
Yeah, and he does, like, logo design. Hear that, Darren? He does logo design.
Darren, I am more than willing to pay him to make us a logo.
That you said you do for free 5 episodes ago.
God damn, Darren.
I got the ideas, I just haven't put them down on paper yet.
Oh, well, then maybe you should just text a description of what it could be. That way so we get something in our head.
Okay, well, I was telling him...
Not now. That's for creative later.
Alright.
Never mind. There's meetings for that, son.
Yeah.
But
only alcoholics go to meetings.
Don't be a quitter. So I thought it was cool. I had a good time. We had beers. It was my birthday, so we just went to the bar instead of going to the actual show, which I'm kind of glad about, because if we didn't win and we spent all that time when it was running late, I probably would have been pissed. And sober, which would have been really bad.
Yeah, man, because you can only buy so many $17 double tall Jameson and ginger ales before you're tapped out.
You can buy one.
But yeah, they did pour heavy. I'll give them credit on that one.
I don't know. I was kind of hammered when we got into the car.
Yeah,
so yeah, I
don't even know how we made it to Newport Richie. I'm not advocating drinking and driving.
It's very stupid. Cameron was completely sober. I was his designated drunk.
He drank for me. We got proxy drunk.
Yeah. Assimilatory drunk. I just made that word up. So
assimilatory?
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna make it up. That's a new word now.
Assimilation. I know assimilation's a word.
Yeah.
I was thinking of 2 words. That
maybe you're thinking about ambulatory.
Nah.
You were an ambulatory drunk.
Wacky waving inflatable tube man.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
So Geektox, man. Let's do that. So
for your birthday, we went ahead and I took Matt to see Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Awesome.
Just like before, we are full spoilers ahead. We don't care. We will not. Spoiler warning, Darren.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will get kicked in the nutsack.
I promised you a Rochambeau.
No
if you
spoilers.
Well, no, you're gonna get spoilers, but no spoiler alert.
So we're actually spoiling 2 people on the show right now too. So
yeah,
It's true.
It's been a week, guys. Come on, go to the movie theaters.
What do you think you are, Captain Britain?
If there was a character, I would be there.
There is a Captain Britain.
Okay, next Halloween, I know who I am.
I have a hero clicks of them.
Gotta show me it.
I'll give you a hint. There's a Union Jack involved with the whole thing.
I will be
God save the Queen.
there. If I knew the anthem, I would be singing that along with it.
But it was so cool, man. I thought it was a totally different kind of Marvel film. I thought it kind of lent to what the Avengers had been doing, because I thought Iron Man is kind of blah, and Thor is exactly what you think a Thor film would be. It has to be over the top. But I thought that this was the first really gritty, raw kind of Marvel film, and that they actually let Captain America be Captain America, and it's what you should be doing every time, because everybody thinks, oh, Captain America is just a dude with a shield, he's superhuman, whatever. But what's cool about it is that it did you a couple times in the film where you're just like, holy shit, Captain America's the man.
Yeah, they did this long 5-minute scene before the title of the movie came up, where they're boarding a boat that was taken over by Somali pirates that it belongs to
It's
Shield.
not Somali. It was like French. No, they were. What? It was like. It wasn't Afghanistan. It was something to start with like Azerbaijan or something like that.
Yeah, it's something. But yeah, no, they had this long shot where Cap jumped out of a plane without a parachute and gets down there and he starts just slinging the shield around and beating some ass.
He wasn't just beating ass, he was bequeathing epic level ass whippings, the likes of which will reverberate to these people's ancestors.
He hauls off and he kicks everybody's ass on board, and then that's when fucking Black Widow and the rest of the SHIELD people
Start showing up.
And they're like, oh, we thought you needed help.
No, I kind of had it under control. Get in position. So what's cool about it is that before the Captain America scene even cuts, he kicks like 20 dudes' asses and George St. Pierre's ass.
Yeah, because George St. Pierre played Balrog.
Oh.
And it was a very minor villain to the Captain America universe.
But he had that imposing kind of feel that you knew it wasn't going to just be a bullshit fight.
Yeah. Hey, you know, it's not like Batman Arkham Origins fighting
that game is so
the Electrocutioner. One roundhouse kick to the face and he's done.
Just a slow-mo Cap of you kicking him in the jaw.
Yeah. And but yeah, going back to Captain America, it didn't feel like a comic book movie. You know, first it had Robert Redford. Excellent
Top
choice to be
casting.
casted as Alexander Pierce, which we'll touch on that here in just a minute. But I don't know, it felt like those late 80s, early 90s political thriller movies, you know, like the original Manchurian Candidate or 3 Days of Condor.
I think Manchurian Candidate was a good reference there.
And it really spoke volumes to the level of intrigue. Captain America wasn't the one who saved the day every time. He was the leader. And that was the thing. Falcon did his thing. Maria Hill did her thing.
By the way, Falcon was awesome.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see Falcon again. Probably not going to be until Captain America 3.
I'd like to see his origin story, actually. I thought the guy they casted to play the Falcon was so good. Like, I really liked that guy.
Falcon would be a great Netflix series. How they're doing the Hell's Kitchen, if after that's all said and done they decide to do a Falcon one, I would not be disappointed.
I would be more inclined to watch the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show if the Falcon appeared on it regularly.
Well, there is a guy that showed up that I think it might be him, but I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know if it's the same actor.
No, it's Deathlock.
No. There's a guy that's helping out the S.H.I.E.L.D. people, and he looks like the same guy that's playing Falcon in the movie.
Are they doing post-events now?
Yeah,
They kinda tie
the
them together.
events of Captain America led into this past episode of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
'Cause
and
they're
it's going to
talking-
influence S.H.I.E.L.D. for the remainder of the season.
Because they're talking about, what's his name being dead on the show, on
Yeah.
Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It kind of runs concurrent.
Yeah.
But
Well, what I was going to ask before, though, was if you took away all, like, the costumes and everything, you're saying it'd be like kind of like a Jack Ryan movie?
yeah, exactly.
Only if Jack Ryan was jacked up on steroids and awesome with a shield.
Yeah, only if Jack
And the
Ryan
greatest American hero of all time.
only if Jack Ryan can run 4 miles in 10 minutes.
So not the Harrison Ford Jack Ryan or the Alec Baldwin one.
No, the Chris Pine Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit.
Yeah.
Somebody just getting used to the world that he's living in, the way that Chris Pine did in the new Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be like. Learning how to play the system and just having the world crash down around him. Yeah.
In this movie, you got to remember where Captain America comes from. He was in this like golden era of America where everything was, very Hulk Hogan. Eat your vitamins and say your prayers and drink your milk, and everything's hunky dory, and we all have each other's backs and we're part of a team. But in the new age, modern era Shield, it's all about lies and deceptions and secrets and things like that. And he's very not used to that, and he doesn't like it at all. And one of his biggest problems is with Nick Fury actually sends Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, on her own mission in his mission.
That first shot that we were telling you about. Yeah, what ends up happening is while Captain America's saving all the hostages, including a high-level S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist, Black Widow's downloading the database from the ship because they're going to sink it.
And it's actually their ship. It's their information, and what you don't know until later in the movie is that he was trying to steal information from himself because he wasn't sure if it was the same information, and it turned out it wasn't.
Because it turns out that Alexander Pierce is an agent of Hydra.
I was just going to ask.
From the first Captain America.
Hydra's been infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D. since the Captain America days.
Yeah, brought it up on
it was so amazing the way that they put it all together, and that the car accident that killed Howard Stark was caused by Hydra because he was getting too close. And all the events that had happened between Captain America and the first Captain America and this one are all influenced by Hydra. It was amazing.
They've been slowly building a secondary army inside of S.H.I.E.L.D., having their own Hydra recruits, and there's senators who are with Hydra. Who was the cameo?
It was Gary Shandling from the first Iron Man movie, when he pulls Iron Man into Congress, and there was a scene with him and the scientists that they saved at the beginning where they shake hands, and he goes, "Hail Hydra."
Yeah.
And so it tied everything in together. It was brilliant.
And they just revealed that on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, Nick Fury couldn't tell who to trust, so that's why he had Black Widow stealing the material. And then it turns out that Armin Zola from the first one, the guy who played Truman Capote in the movie Infamous, came back as a computer database the way he did in the comic books to explain to Captain America, hey, guess what? Everybody is a Hydra agent. You have nothing that you can do to stop it. We're going to take over the world.
Incoming.
Yeah, and at the end of it, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, hey Cap, they locked onto your location. Hide.
Don't even bother, you're not going to live.
Yeah.
And then they live because it's Captain America.
Yeah. And what ended up happening at the end of it, they set up everything for Winter Soldier 2. Because Winter Soldier isn't dead. He's starting to realize exactly who he is. And they did this one shot during a fight with the Winter Soldier where he held up Cap's shield. And they held on that for 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. Because in the books, after Steve Rogers is killed during the Civil War storyline, Bucky takes over as Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool because Cap gets fucked up in this movie. He gets shot like 4 times.
And it's not even just the physical, it's the mental toll that it takes on him. But they've set up everything to do a perfect... They could launch the Civil War storyline after the Avengers 2.
It's the perfect time because now Nick Fury's underground, Black Widow's underground, Hawkeye's underground. Yep. You've got Captain America and his new buddy, the Falcon. That's kind of like his new right-hand man.
He's like the Bucky to Cap.
Yeah.
And you can
Hawkeye still as lame as the first one?
Hawkeye was not in this one.
But he was mentioned a couple times.
Yeah, he was mentioned a couple of times, and actually Scarlett Johansson was wearing a pendant with an arrow on it.
Okay.
How very catching fire.
I know there were kind of rumors that they were going to give him like the suit kind of like in the comics, but
I saw actually the pictures of his suit. There's more purple in it. It's less badass, and it's more... I don't know who's a more irrelevant superhero now, Captain America or Aquaman. Not Captain America, sorry, Hawkeye or Aquaman.
Yeah. Well, so it always brings up that
Aquaman.
the worst amalgam character ever. The worst amalgam character ever.
Instead of arrows, he's spearfishing.
No, actually, you know what? Yeah, that's a pretty good one. What do you do when you run out of arrows? I do.
That's the age-old question. What happens when Hawkeye runs out of arrows?
Can't you go retrieve the arrows? No,
it's not my gig, man. That's not what I do.
Can't you punch something? No, I just shoot arrows.
That was the best. That was one of the best Saturday Night Live sketches ever. When he jobbed out his own character.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner hosting Saturday Night Live.
All right, guys, I'm out of arrows. I'll see you later.
Wait a minute, Hawkeye. Now, Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's definitely a must-watch. But they set everything up at the end. S.H.I.E.L.D's underground. Maria Hill is actually working for Stark Industries.
Yeah.
So she's got constant eye on Tony Stark, and she's in contact with Captain America. And then at the end of it, through the sequence of events and Hydra's plan failing, Crossbones is created, which Crossbones is the one who pulled the trigger and killed Captain America in Civil War.
He's also one of his primary villains because he's one of those guys that's kind of like Batman's Bane. He's bigger, stronger, more badass, and willing to kill. And he's just unholy because he goes over there and beats Captain America's ass on a regular basis.
Think of him like Deathstroke.
Yeah.
To put a perfect analogy to it, Crossbones is like Deathstroke. But it lends everything to where the Civil War storyline starts right after the Avengers 2, after Ultron wreaks havoc over the world. They start the registration. Cap hates it. Standalone Captain America 3. Captain America is going to get offed.
Here's what was really cool that I don't think a lot of people picked up on was the fact that in his interview with the scientist on the roof, he revealed that they've been looking at people and they have a database going already, so it's already kind of going in that Civil War kind of direction when they mentioned guys like Stephen Strange. The theater went apeshit.
You should have heard the geek in me when they were like, Stephen Strange, some kid in Iowa, and they're going through it. I'm sitting there checking off in my head. I'm like, okay, Doctor Strange, one of the Inhumans, another Inhuman, because they're describing all these people perfectly, and I'm just like, ah!
It was really cool because at the end of the movie, the little teaser at the end of it had what's the guy's name?
Baron von Strucker, who's actually the high-ranking Hydra member now.
They've been messing around with the Tesseract energy again.
And they were messing around with Loki's spear, which I've figured out that it's one of the Infinity Stones. It's the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
You have the Power Stone, which was from Thor.
Right.
And then you have the Tesseract, which is Will,
I think.
Time, yeah. One of those two. So now you've identified 3 Infinity Stones.
So you're building towards the Infinity Gauntlet?
Yes.
You're going to get another one in Guardians of the Galaxy. They're looking for an Infinity Stone.
Yep.
But at the end of it, you got to see the twins, and you got to see Quicksilver, and you got to see Scarlet Witch.
Oh, it was beautiful. They're in this cell, and Quicksilver's just running circles around his cell because he's trapped in a 12x12 room.
Imagine being the fastest dude in the universe, and you're trapped in a small room.
Yeah. And the character design is much better than X-Men's.
Days of Future Past Quicksilver, you got to see him in a Hardee's commercial, and he is the just lamest looking son of a bitch of all time.
Silver hair, and he's got silver accents on his jacket,
and the speed
silver
thing,
eyebrows.
It was different because the speed thing's like a quick, jerky kind of speed movement thing, and in the Marvel version, he's just wicked fast. But that wasn't the coolest part. The coolest part was when Scarlet Witch is levitating some shit, and then she just crushes it, like disintegrates it with her mind,
like the dude in Chronicle. At the end of Chronicle, when the guy who plays Harry Osborn picks up the car and he just crushes it with his hand. Yeah, it was really awesome. I'm so excited for the Avengers now. But first, we have to get through Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. Guardians of the Galaxy, I've seen so many teasers and stuff like that for that. I'm so excited. Just come the fuck out already.
Yeah, please, August 1st. God damn it.
Oh, that long?
Yeah. Just August. That's
I don't know why they're waiting. I guess they're waiting a little longer.
Well, because you got Spider-Man.
No, they're
Spider-Man then?
No, Spider-Man comes out in May, but usually they do one at the beginning of the summer and one in November. Because if you look, Captain America 1 came out in November, and that followed Iron Man. That followed Thor, and then Iron Man 2 came out in November, and that followed whatever.
I kind of feel like the Scarlet Witch and the Quicksilver thing was kind of a prelude to either the new, because they were members of the Avengers at one point.
Yes.
And I think that it also could be the interlude to Doctor Strange movie. You know?
Yeah, because you're getting more into the magic portion, the cosmic portion, which is why Guardians is so important to Phase 2. Because they're going to start getting more cosmic, more dealing with energy and all this.
Doctor Strange is the link. He's the link between those universes of, the Marvel-verse and the kind of Ghost Rider-verse, where you're talking about cosmic, galactic, everything, and then also the Mephisto kind of hell on Earth kind of gimmick as well. So he's the guy who traverses both planes.
Other planets that have superheroes like Black Panther, maybe.
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill, who could be in Thor 3.
I didn't know that.
They're talking about the Ragnarok storyline for Thor 3.
That would be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, it would be better than Groar.
I kind of want to see World War Hulk, though. I think that's where they should go with the Hulk character, because they need a new Hulk movie.
And they're going to introduce the... oh, God, I don't even remember. It wasn't the ones from the Avengers. It was the Skrull are going to be introduced in Guardians.
That's awesome, though.
And so they sent Hulk to the Skrull's home planet.
Yeah, because he was flipping out. They couldn't keep him on Earth anymore. So Tony Stark loaded him up in a spaceship and shot him into space. Sorry, buddy, we had to do it.
If it doesn't happen in Phase 2, it's going to happen at the end of Phase 3.
But the thing about World War Hulk is that it kind of takes... Because I thought Mark Ruffalo did a great job.
Bark Ruffalo?
His dog, Bark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo did such a good job as the Hulk, having had a couple of really cool guys play Hulk before him. I mean, the first... horrible abortion of a movie was not good. But Edward Norton did a good job, and I thought that having Mark Ruffalo do it, I think that if you're going to have another Hulk movie, you can't not have him in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But he never transforms out of Hulk once he hits this planet.
But here's the thing, is that Edward Norton didn't know his place when he played Hulk. Otherwise, he would have been Hulk in Avengers 1. He wanted top billing with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And they just looked at him and they go, you're not even the majority of the movie. Why the fuck are we going to put your name on the poster?
Hulk?
Yeah.
Smash.
Hulk, smash. We have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Puny god.
But it's kind of cool because you get to see a different kind of spin on the way the Marvelverse is going, and you're getting these raw, gritty movies. And I think that this is kind of lending to the fact that you're getting these different kind of situations going on in the movies, and they're really good, man. Like the last Thor movie was pretty good, and the Captain America blew my socks off because I thought out of the original series that led up to Avengers, I thought Captain America was weak, but you disagree with me on that.
Oh yeah, no, Captain America was the perfect origin story. They did the origin of Captain America better than they did the origin of Iron Man. And up until then, Iron Man was the best origin story. Because there's not really an origin to Thor. He's the son of a god. That's it. Yeah. There's no magical serum that gives him his power. There's no accident that leads to it.
He's just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He just was born one day and started growing up. And
exactly.
One of the greatest warriors who earned the right to carry Mjolnir, and they're just awesome. I thought that Thor was pretty cool, but I thought it was still just one of those generic movies. Iron Man, the first one was awesome because it was the first time you got to see some of that, but I thought the second one was weak as fuck. Yeah. And then I haven't even seen the third one yet.
But Whiplash was an amalgamation of Crimson Dynamo.
Yeah.
And somebody else.
Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash and Crimson Dynamo. Because they had Vanko, who was Crimson Dynamo, and then they had Whiplash.
Yeah, two different guys.
So they combined them all together, which pissed me off because I would love to see Crimson Dynamo in a movie.
Plus, it's kind of hard to watch Mickey Rourke talk now because he's just so out there.
It's hard watching Mickey Rourke do anything now.
Actually, Mickey Rourke is in my I Win the Game segment.
Teaser.
But the other thing that we had that was going on that was really cool is that this last Sunday we got the thing that us wrestling fans it's our mecca. We always love to watch it, and everybody who loves wrestling watches WrestleMania
at the Silver Dome.
Give Hulk Hogan a hell yeah if you can't say Superdome. Hell yeah! But it was so good, man. I thought that, well, first of all, I thought that the crowd in New Orleans was crap, but I thought they really made up for themselves at the Raw following, because I think that the WrestleMania has kind of become like the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And that I was hanging out with my friend Jim Regan up in Jersey. I was out there to see my kid.
Name drop.
And Jim's a really good friend of mine, and he's got a really good grasp on wrestling. And what he was saying is that he thought that the crowd was mic'd wrong. And when I was watching the replay, I kind of feel like that way as well. Maybe they didn't do such a bad job that the miking was so bad in that
WrestleMania
building.
is becoming more like the Super Bowl every year, is that these lower tickets by the ring are just too damn expensive for me or you to buy.
So fans can't get in where celebrities do.
Where up in the third level, the $30 seats, because those guys were going fucking nuts the entire show.
And you got all those, like, the sponsors and stuff like that. They put those actors into the front seats. And
exactly.
You're like, I don't think this guy would ever be at a show. Some of them you might believe it, but other guys you're just looking at like, that dude would never be in a wrestling show. It's only because his show is on USA.
That anything would happen.
Well, I think that you got a lot of things going on with WrestleMania now. Is that that's such like a pomp and pageantry, and it's going to do all these awesome, like, cool things, and like everybody knows, big shit happens at WrestleMania now.
Big shit's happened at the night after WrestleMania too.
I think the Raw after WrestleMania is the best show they got.
Oh, I love watching it every year.
That crowd was fucking insane.
That crowd was insane for fucking Wade Barrett. Okay,
I've got some bad news for you.
And the crowd just went, oh!
That was the best comeback I've seen in a long time. I thought that the crowd popped just right for him, because I think that the crowds now are starting to go towards mature adults as not kids, and that the PG arrows kind of backfired on them, because real wrestling fans are the fans that have been watching since we were kids, and we appreciate good wrestling. We know it's fake. We don't give a shit.
We're the WWE Universe. We decide. There are no more faces or heels in this business anymore. We decide who we like and who we hate. You can try to shove them down our throats as much as you can. We'll just turn on you.
It's the truly talented guys who get the best pops, who get the best reactions.
Brian, Cesaro, Wade Barrett.
Well,
those
Bray
are
Wyatt.
guys right there. Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
The Shield.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, what I was thinking was that, you know, at the WrestleMania, you got these huge venues. Like last year, it was in Giant Stadium, or the new Giant Stadium. This year, it's at the Superdome. And then the Raws are at a smaller venue, so maybe the sound travel is better.
No, it's because with most WrestleMania packages, they include tickets to Monday Night Raw with your seat package. So, like, we're watching WrestleMania right now. So if you look at the stuff that's surrounding the ring and the immediate, you get tickets to Raw the night after. So you're taking these people who have spent a ton of money and the first level people, and they're the ones that are going off.
They're leaving at Sunday night.
They're going to Raw because they get the ticket included. Okay. So that's why you look and you'll see the paper yes chants on Monday Night Raw. The Cesaro section is all there on Monday Night Raw because of that fact.
I was just thinking it was just the smaller venue and stuff like that.
They're able to mic it better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always been WrestleMania's problem since they went to the big stages.
Yeah, especially if you're outside.
Yeah,
it didn't used to be that problem.
Well, that's when that was when they were doing it at like the Amway Center. That's when they were doing it at the Allstate Arena in Chicago. It was when they moved to these giant stadiums outside that they started having issues. And that's why they build that little teepee over top of it so it kind of retains some sound. And that's usually where the microphones are.
Well, let's go into the first really big controversy of WrestleMania. It was the thing that I felt made the crowd go flat.
The Silverdome?
21-1.
Oh. Yeah. Undertaker's streak was broken. I just want everybody to digest this for a second because I'm 25 years old.
I'm 28. My childhood just got shattered.
I recognized wrestling when I was 4 or 5. I mean, you know, I've seen the WrestleMania. I've seen the Undertaker streak from inception to now, and yeah, it really sucked.
I mean, I originally thought that it might have been something like Taker went rogue and it wasn't supposed to happen that way, or maybe he got hurt during the match. But I was looking on Bleacher Report, and they show like a clip where right after it all happens, Lesnar goes over to him and says thank you.
Yeah,
so he must have been in on it.
Well, there was only a couple people who knew about that.
Triple H, Stephanie, the referee.
Well, no, they said the referee didn't even know.
The referee knew. The referee knew on the way out to the ring.
Oh yeah.
It was Triple H, Stephanie, Lesnar, Heyman, Undertaker, and the referee.
But the Undertaker had nodded Brock Lesnar to take this streak back in like 2010.
Yeah, he wanted him to take it. He said if there's anybody, and
well,
that's
what.
what.
Remember when he was at that UFC
the
event?
stare down between. That's exactly what I said too.
They thought he was coming back then too, but he stayed back and tried to win his title back, and it didn't happen. But the thing that shocked me the most was just that Undertaker is getting up there in age, and I think it's the pressure of having to do that match year in and year out, that one match that has to be so over the top, that has to be so brutal, so awesome to live up to the reputation. At some point, when do you just decide, like, it's time to pass the torch to the next monster? And he didn't want to lose to, like, CM Punk or Daniel Bryan or Triple H. He wanted to give it to the monster, the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
See, if there's something that you can take out of this match, The Undertaker looks old, slow, and feeble during the entire thing. All right, so I went back and I watched CM Punk versus The Undertaker from last year. If you just watch The Undertaker throughout that entire match, he looks old, slow, and feeble. The year before, old, slow, and feeble. That's why everything's become more of a gimmick match for him. Falls Count Anywhere, Hell in a Cell. Yeah, because it's a lot less work.
But lately, he's only been wrestling the WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, too, is if you watch the match, this is the first match I've ever watched Taker do where he wasn't the lead. Brock was leading it. Brock was taking more bumps. He was doing more of the leading. Now, Brock is a really dangerous guy to have to wrestle, and he's so rough when he wrestles and shit. Undertaker got a concussion on the first double leg takedown. You know, so he wrestled the entire match with a concussion. And so when we're sitting there like, dude, stop taking those fucking glory hog knees. He wasn't. He was fucking concussed, and he actually went to the hospital as soon as he went in the back, and Vince jumped in the back of the truck with him, and then Brock and Paul Heyman both jumped in the same car and then drove off to meet him.
Yeah, they didn't even. Vince wasn't even there for the last 2 matches. The Divas clusterfuck in the championship.
Wow, God, what a lousy match.
Yeah,
that match was terrible. The next night on Raw, though.
I mean, yeah, they did with Paige. Paige making her debut on the main roster. NXT Diva Paige.
Paige Turner,
the anti-diva.
But just to go back to
she's
Brock,
so hot.
I love her.
Even when he debuted over 10 years ago, it always looked like when he did that F5, he was doing it wrong and it was hurting the guy landing.
Yeah.
And that's how he broke Vince's hip.
Yeah, I mean... And
that really happened.
I don't doubt it. And, I mean, I can't believe The Undertaker took 3 of them.
Yeah, I don't...
But if you notice, there's a way to take the F5. You're supposed to tuck and fetal position and keep your neck elevated off the ground. You're supposed to take it on the shoulder and then the rest of your body hits. And the way Vince did it is that he wasn't his core wasn't strong enough, and he slung him and he hit right on his hip. And when you're at that age, you can't take a bump like that.
See, Taker had his left hip replaced. So if you noticed that all 3 of those F5s were on his right.
That's exactly right.
That way,
when Brock was feuding with Cena, it looked like he really hurt Cena legit.
well,
They
everybody
punched
hates
Cena in the
John
face
Cena,
a couple of times for real too. You know?
Give him a rough one.
Yeah, give him one with gusto.
You remember that first interaction they had where they were standing off in the ring and then Cena like tried to shove him or whatever, but Brock literally hit him in the face, and then Cena came back and tried to hit him back, but then he got popped in the grill again. He was bleeding from the mouth. That was real. He really hit him.
That was the Raw after WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
When the entire crowd in Miami, we want Lesnar.
Talk about
crazy.
We did bring him up once, but talk about the 5 Moves of Doom snooze fest that's John Cena. But the match and the lead up to the match of Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. What do you think?
Second best build of WrestleMania.
Yes.
Monster.
Yeah, the WWE puts together these video packages, and the video package that they put together for Daniel Bryan, Triple H, we'll talk about later, is just, it was phenomenal. It's like they knew what they were doing over the last 8 months in keeping Bryan off the title, because the video that they put together set to Imagine Dragons' song Monster. It was awesome. And then they played it to open up Raw on Monday. And then they played it again on Raw on Monday. They played it 3 times on WrestleMania. They played it 9 times during the pre-show. And I just couldn't get enough of it.
It's a really good promo.
It was.
But the Bray Wyatt promo with Legacy, with Bray in the beginning of it, the ending of it was weak because it's all John Cena. Like, he will overcome the odds. Bray Wyatt, his build-up to that match where the band was playing for him when they came out, the band was the first band I didn't see fuck it up live. Like,
and then Red Theory went out and did a kick-ass job later on, too.
Do you remember that horrible job that CM Punk's...
Oh, that fucking Living Color did last year? Oh, my God, it was awful.
This is the first time I've ever seen a band really knock it out of the park, and I thought that Bray came out and did such an awesome job at WrestleMania. This is your heel for WrestleMania's of future. This is your new guy, but I thought that John should have put him over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what does Cena get the benefit from winning that match?
He doesn't get a benefit at all.
No.
And what you're doing is you're stunting the growth of the next big thing.
I don't think that stunted his growth at all.
But we had talked about it. Bray Wyatt would have been perfect to end the streak with, because you're taking it from one supernatural character and giving it to another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that. Well, you brought this up, Cam, when we were talking about WrestleMania when I was in Jersey, that John Cena was legitimately pissed off that he wasn't in the headline on that.
You could hear it the entire time. I watched the Daniel Bryan special that they put on the network.
Where it became really apparent.
And they're talking to John Cena about Daniel Bryan and WrestleMania build-up and all this stuff. And John's like, yeah, he's going to be in the main event at WrestleMania, and you can see him roll his eyes.
But he's been a part of so many.
It doesn't matter. John Cena is all about John Cena and John Cena's ego. John Cena's got to stroke himself and say, John Cena, yeah, Cena, yeah.
So he's the wrestling's Jeets?
He's the wrestling Jeter.
My favorite thing about the interaction on that Daniel Bryan 30 to WrestleMania was that they showed the interaction between John and his name's Bryan Daniels. Danielson, yeah, Brett, who they have interactions with each other, and he's talking about every time I talk to Daniel, it's the same thing. It's how are you feeling? Good. Ready? Yes. Is everything okay? Yes. All right, buddy. Well, you appreciate this and take it for what it is. And he walks off. It's like, dude, you can't be happy for who could be your brother-in-law. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, man? You have to be the main event every time. I'm so sick of this jackass, and it's so time for him to turn heel, because I think the crowd would really gravitate back towards him. I mean, he would only be heel for like 6 months, and he could turn face right back again, but
I would
he needs heel turn to revitalize his career.
If Cena was going to win that match, if Cena was going to come out triumphant in that match against Bray Wyatt, yes, he would have lost via DQ. He should have beat the shit out of him with that fucking chair.
Yeah.
Just get it right out of his fucking... Like when he kicked Wade Barrett's ass after he was a slave to the Nexus or whatever a couple of years ago. He should have just gotten it out of his system. Yeah, you would have lost to WrestleMania, but it's not your first loss at WrestleMania.
No,
You're not The Undertaker.
And I think Wyatt would have gotten so much more benefit out of it than
Yeah,
because to him it's just another match.
His performance already put him over. His performance in that match put him over.
He could take the glory boy, the good old boy kind of guy, and make him bend to his will. Yeah.
Does anybody remember The Undertaker versus Ultimate Warrior when Ultimate Warrior was terrified of being in the coffin and they were going to do that whole gimmick and they rode that out for a little while and then he had to overcome The Undertaker?
Was that in WWE or CW?
That was WWF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was the direction that it was going in. It was a recycled gimmick, but a lot of things are. But I thought that they should have had John Cena lose at WrestleMania and then maybe get it back.
Where Hogan saw or the one where Hogan saw Ultimate Warrior in the mirror and he was the only one who could see him. And then they did the same thing with Rowan. And while John Cena was in there, Rowan's wearing the sheep mask looking around the corner and Cena turns around and there's nobody there. And it was rehashed for most of the build-up, but it was Bray that pulled it all off.
Bray made that match happen.
Tell me about your heroes. I'll make them burn.
All bow to the virtue of hustle, loyalty, and respect.
John Cena, you sitting there with your plastic girlfriend in your giant mansion?
You're a liar, John Cena.
You are a liar. Yeah, it's that good. Bray Wyatt is fantastic.
I love that dude.
Bray Wyatt.
So glad that he did not survive in Nexus because we might not even have Bray Wyatt.
The brilliant thing is that he gets to do his own material because that is not approved when he comes out there and spouts off at the mouth. They're like, okay, you get 10 minutes, go ahead.
Yeah, he's on Jericho level on the microphone now. They say, okay, here's the bullet points, make sure you hit them, but then just ad-lib it the rest of the way.
And that's what Triple H said that he wanted to get all the guys back to, is just, these are the bullet points, and you got to hit them.
That's why they have promo school down in NXT.
We're not in the old era of the steroid era, so these guys aren't like Sid Vicious was one of the worst mic guys. Hogan flubs all the time. Macho Man flub. I believe Booker T called him Hulk Hogan an N-word when he was.
Give me the one that you know that I want to hear.
Which one's that?
Big Papa Pump. I'll just be sitting over here. You're not at a round table and shit.
I love the Sid Vicious ones that is like, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna pray. Hold on, we gotta go back and do this again. I'm just like, no, we're live, buddy.
You think you're smart? I'm not smart. You're smart.
That's something that really happened.
I remember.
I loved it. The biggest flubs on WWE Countdown. On that. We've been watching a lot of the WWE Network lately because it's actually working.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah,
and watching the original programming that they've got for it. Yeah,
I've been watching the hell out of the old ACW pay-per-views.
Did you watch Mania on the network?
I did.
I did too.
I watched Mania up until about 8:30 on the network when the Andre the Giant Battle Royal started. That's when everything started getting a little choppy for me. So then I cut over to the Ouya just to be safe. And then when I shut off the Ouya, I plugged the Roku back in, and they were about 35 minutes behind. I was seeing the beginning of the triple threat match.
It did skip on because I was like I said, I was with my friend Jim, and he had it on. He was streaming it through his Xbox on WWE Live or the WWE.
I'm surprised it didn't red ring.
Yeah, well, it started to get chippy at points, but it wasn't unwatchable. It was just, some points would delay. The funny thing is that every time there was a boring, crappy part, it would just kind of skip a little. We're like, oh, thank you, WWE, for saving me from that atrocity.
You guys realized it. You do care.
Somebody hit fast forward.
This really is the reality era.
What did you think about the triple threat match?
I thought the triple threat match was fantastic. It looked a little sloppy, like it was just thrown together last minute, like they wanted to swerve Las Vegas in the betting. But yeah, no, the triple threat match seemed a little sloppy. But the one spot that I'll remember forever is when Batista picked up Daniel Bryan for the Batista bomb, and then Orton caught him with the RKO on the way down.
Did you see what happened to him?
Not because of that spot, but because of the fact that Randy Orton landed square on a fucking monitor.
His back, the small of his back landed right on top of a monitor that was supposed to be cleared, and you could see it later. It was bleeding, like he was bleeding from it. He landed right on it.
Yeah, and that's what I'll remember it for. That's the thing that's going to be in the "Don't try this at home" packages.
Okay.
Like they showed Joey Mercury getting his face fucked up by the table, or when Hardcore Holly went through the table and he got that 17-inch gash on his back. You're going to see something like that with Orton landing on that TV monitor for years to come.
The only thing that I didn't like about the triple threat match is that I've seen it before. it was just a rehash of the Chris Benoit victory.
Yeah.
It was exactly the same finish.
It ended a very similar way. Daniel Bryan made Batista tap out, and in that feud, you had the giant Batista, harkens back to Triple H back at WrestleMania 20, the kind of svelte, in-shape guy, Randy Orton, Shawn Michaels, and then you had the little guy who's a submission specialist, Chris Benoit, and it ended the exact same way. The little guy made the huge guy tap in the center of the ring.
Well, how else would you have made it end?
With a super flying flash pin for the win.
Actually, you know what? I think a double submission would have been great.
What a controversial! You can't give it a controversial.
No, I think Daniel Bryan submitting both of them.
That would have been cool. I mean, but he's little, so you have to talk about the immense girth of Batista having to be put in that submission alone. He was like watching my daughter try to submit me. It was weird.
Well, to build on that though, I kind of conceive of a way it would happen is somehow they both get knocked out, and then he lays Batista on the ground, and then maybe Orton on top of him, and then he does the move. Yeah. So he has both heads.
Do like the arms. Or do like Daniel Bryan's on his knees, and he's got Batista's right arm and Orton's left arm grapevined up with his legs, and then he's pulling across both of their faces.
They tap out simultaneously.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Something because obviously now with the events on Raw is that they've blown off Batista and Randy Orton from the title picture.
Yeah, completely.
I don't even know who the number one contender is. It's probably Brock Lesnar.
It's Batista.
But no, they're doing Evolution versus the Shield 3-on-3 at Extreme Rules.
Is that what it's going to be?
It's the current plan.
Well, I think that you could do anybody, really, because it's all about Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's going to make the match. They just can't do it like they did with Chris Benoit, where he only had the title for, 2 pay-per-views, and then they gave it right to Randy Orton. But it was... I think that this is the kind of momentum with the kind of... There's never been a guy more over than Daniel Bryan is right now.
The crowd will turn John Cena if they put Cena as the number one contender. So it needs to be some kind of a monster heel. And you know what? Bray never got revenge on Daniel Bryan after that cage match when he turned on him.
I would be okay with him dropping the title to Bray, but I think it's going to be a little while before you get it.
I mean, just some kind of but I don't think that Bray and Cena are done yet. Maybe Cesaro.
That's what I was going to say. I think that would be the best swerve, is that you could take the title from Bray and give it to Cesaro, and you could have one hell of a match for 5 or 6 pay-per-views between, you remember when they were doing the Chris Jericho versus CM Punk, or the Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk things?
Yeah,
they would save pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And
DUI PPV.
Yeah, it would those pay-per-views are so crap, and then the CM Punk match would save it. But I think that you could do Cesaro and Daniel Bryan, because they're two really intense, really high-energy guys, and that they both can take their bumps really well. I think that would be the best way to go about doing it in the future. You could probably have them trade the title back and forth 3 times through the pay-per-views. Cesaro beats him, then Daniel beats him back, then Cesaro beats him again, then Daniel beats him back, and, it would be really cool.
And Cesaro was kind of looking like he was turning face, but now you got him with Heyman.
Yeah.
Instantly makes him a heel again.
But Paul Heyman is the only guy that can make the crowd fucking hate him, and then an hour later make them chant his name.
Yes.
Well, he's so good with marketing and branding, guys. He came out with the Sultan of Swing thing, and you're like, why haven't we been calling him this the whole time?
The King of Swing.
And that's
what he called him. I said Sultan of Swing, the instrumental version should be his theme.
It was the King of Swing, yeah.
and as soon as Cesaro said, I'm not a Zeb Coulter guy, I was like, Please say the next line.
Well, yeah, because as soon as he said, I'm not a Zeb Coulter guy, you're like, oh, you're a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah.
But I don't even know who would be the number one contender, because if they're going to tie up Evolution against the Shield, and Bray's got Cena, what do you do? What do you do in that kind of situation? Because there's 5 weeks until that, 4 weeks, 3 weeks until that pay-per-view.
How much time is left on CM Punk's contract?
I don't think they'd bring CM Punk back.
Yeah, well, he's still getting his merchandising deals and stuff, and they're putting out new merchandise, so I don't think he needs to come back. I don't think that the WWE universe needs him to come back.
Give me CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan in a 60-minute Iron Man match, or he can fucking stay gone.
I want one match.
I've been calling for that match for years now. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, 60-minute Iron Man.
I want my chance to say goodbye. I want one match, and I want it to be CM Punk at WrestleMania versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Give me a hell yeah!
That's the only match I want to see him in. That's it, and then he can just go away. And I couldn't give a fuck less if he comes back. Because I actually went back and I was watching some old CM Punk footage, and I had no I remembered it because a different way because I like CM Punk, but now that I've kind of got this nasty taste in my mouth because I really don't like the way that he's handled this situation. I understand it's his career; he can do whatever the fuck he wants to. My problem is that he went away and he doesn't give a fuck about the fans or anything like that, and that's his gimmick, whatever. But I was watching a lot of his old matches, and I had no idea how much he sandbagged guys, how much he no-sold bumps and stuff like that. And that John Cena CM Punk match, I had no idea how much CM Punk made John work in that match. And I don't think it was because he was trying to prove a point. I think it was because he didn't want to be in that match.
And also, the way he left, it's kind of a lot like how Stone Cold left like 10 years ago. So you got that kind of tie-in.
But Stone Cold had a reason to leave.
Yeah. And
he had
maybe
massive injuries
too. I mean, maybe he's just
no,
tired.
he doesn't. He was healthy and fine.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying maybe he's tired of the grind. He's tired of the whole thing with Cena and all that other crap.
Well, he's got Cena-itis too, where he wants to be the main event all the time, and he thinks he's the best thing in wrestling. And I'm sorry to say, it's not his move. Is it even his move?
Well, when CM Punk was in the middle of that 434-day title reign, John Cena versus fucking John Laurinaitis was headlining pay-per-views.
Yeah,
it was bullshit. They fucked their champion.
Yeah, I would back him up in that defense.
CM Punk didn't get to main event WrestleMania because of Rock versus Cena 1.
Yep. And then the other thing though too is that Stone Cold has been calling out CM Punk a lot, like on his podcast and stuff. So hopefully it's leading to something.
And it's obvious to see that Stone Cold's back in the good graces of the WWE because of the appearance at WrestleMania.
I don't think he ever wasn't in the good graces of WWE because he's been in a lot of WWE movies.
Yeah, I think for like the last 5-6 years, whenever they squashed their deal, they've been cool.
Well, the other thing that we've been seeing a lot lately is that we're starting to get a lot of NXT call-ups with like Paige. Now you get the Exotic Express.
Believing.
I couldn't care less about Bo Dallas coming through. I fucking hate that guy.
Bo knows wrestling. Are you not a believer?
I'm not a believer. My problem is that for a guy with that lousy of a build and with that kind of I don't want to say lazy wrestling. It is kind of lazy wrestling though, and that he should be flying around a lot more. He should be doing a lot more high risk stuff.
Are you going to take a trip to Bolivia?
I'm not. I fucking hate that guy.
Do you know it's Bo's ring?
It isn't.
It's Bo's ring.
No mo Bo, man.
Bo's ring.
No mo
Bo's ring.
So, but you're getting guys like Adam Rose are coming in, and
oh, bunnies! I love bunnies!
My former ex-girlfriend and my future ex-girlfriend.
Take a ride on the Exotic Express! Come aboard!
It's kind of a cool gimmick. I just hope he has a different finisher coming in.
It's a very Russell Brand-esque, get him to the Greek character.
Which is kind of funny, because Leo Kruger looked like a freaking cretin, and then Adam Rose, he just shaves a little and changes his facial hair and be like, that dude's actually not ugly.
I'm excited because I can't wait to see how the universe that doesn't watch NXT reacts to his entrance. Just number one, his entrance. When he gets up on the ring, falls backwards, and they crowd surf him around.
You think they're going to allow him to do that?
I think they will.
Well, if they let the guys keep their gimmicks when they come up, like I really don't like the Big E Langston move because they're not letting him do the 5 count. Yeah. So his music doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, 3 ain't enough, man. I need 5. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
If he's like, oh, I'm the Intercontinental Champion, to beat me, you got to beat a 5 count, but that requires a heel turn.
He was a great heel.
And they want to keep Big E as a face for some ungodly reason because there's more mid-card level heels than there are mid-card level faces. Yeah. So you can inevitably get the Big E Langston barn burner with Bray Wyatt. Or whenever the Shield breaks up, one of them stays heel. Well, one of them turns heel now because
obviously
faces.
Ambrose. Yeah,
I think Seth Rollins would make an excellent heel. He made a great heel down in NXT.
True, but he also made a great face too.
Look at that guy's face. They just showed the WrestleMania guy.
Oh yeah.
The black guy with the Just Say Yes T-shirt. He's like, oh my god! And just the entire crowd just.
Paige got her call up too.
Paige did get her call up. I was excited about that.
They put the strap on her immediately
because the original plan was Naomi was supposed to take the strap at WrestleMania, but the ending got fucked up by AJ, who is engaged to CM Punk.
Yes.
So they wanted to take the title off of her.
How did she fuck it up?
it was in the way that it ended. It was supposed to get reversed into Naomi's like cartwheel DDT that she does, but AJ had her arm too far back, so she couldn't plant on that arm to do it, and then Naomi accidentally tapped out. I read the article about it. I'm just like, how fucking stupid are you?
Wow, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, she's now banished from Strapdom.
Yeah,
you can expect that to never happen again.
Yeah, but like the way Paige won, I mean, I don't know how good she is in NXT, but she just looked so uncoordinated. And
I think she was really excited.
I have a feeling that AJ was kind of fucking it all up
on purpose.
Yeah, because that's a total CM Punk move to cause somebody to botch an ending because you don't want to lose.
Yeah,
and CM Punk's probably on the phone with her. They're only taking it off you because you're engaged to me, and you're so vocal about our engagement backstage, because she is.
Yeah.
She wears her engagement ring out to the ring. Everybody knows. And the promo that she cut on Raw before Paige came out, total CM Punk. You could hear CM Punk's voice when she was talking. You know, I'm the best diva in the world. There wouldn't be a Divas division if it wasn't for me. And, you know, nobody can stop me. And it was just... It was very CM Punk,
and I'm kind of sick of it. And we were all expecting it, but I'm okay with it. Like, I'm just like, you know, if you're gonna try to be the show hog, understand this, that there's how many other people on the roster who are dying to get into your position.
Obviously,
if you want to be an
30.
asshole about it, go away.
Yeah, obviously at least 30.
You have to give up the title. You can still be a star and not be the title holder.
Yeah, because people like the pursuer. People don't like people who are champions the entire time. That's why they did a CM Punk heel turn halfway through. You know, I like John Cena when he's chasing the title from a giant heel. I like it because, you know, like, or when he's defending against the big heel, like Umaga, when he ran the gauntlet with Umaga back in the day, who's not dead. And, you know, I liked Cena in that. The insurmountable odds. But
it gets old after a while.
It does get old after a while.
Old.
But every time they take the title off of Cena, there's a 6-week period where I like John Cena because it's him trying to get it back.
I don't like it when John Cena is in the quest for the title or otherwise defending it, because John Cena never loses clean.
No, it's always some kind of a
screw job.
Yeah. And
you know, just lose clean, man.
I'm just so frustrated with the John Cena thing. What do we got else? What else?
Well, the other thing is just as depressing as John Cena's career is that Ultimate Warrior dies age 54. God rest his soul, man. Like, that's part of your childhood dying right there with the Undertaker's loss. You know, and it was kind of sad too, because you saw his induction, and people backstage were saying he was weird, he was different, he seemed like he was uncomfortable, in pain, and then he came out to the ring and did his classic rope shake, and you could tell he was weak, and then he gave his own eulogy basically in that ring.
As hell, man.
And then he was dead the next day, and it was just, I mean, earth-shattering. You're like, whoa, what the
I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning with text messages, you know, hey, Ultimate Warrior's dead. And I'm like, why the fuck are you texting me at 2 o'clock in the morning, first off? And second,
I love Ultimate Warrior, but it's not 2 o'clock in the morning news.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not 2 o'clock in the morning. So I just shot Matt a text message. I shot Matt a message on Facebook because I knew his phone was on the couch. So he saw it as soon as he woke up.
It's because I was drunk as hell from sleep. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah, it's definitely sad. But Deadspin did say it correctly in an article. Yeah, he just died. But the Ultimate Warrior was a tremendous dick.
Yeah, I mean, you go back onto YouTube and watch some of his old promos when he was out of the WWE cutting juice on Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
or the ones where he's fucking queers and the faggots and all this stuff. And he came out with a Warrior comic book where there are 2 pages where he kicked the shit out of Santa Claus. You don't see him like freeing Santa Claus from the shackles. All you see is one. It's Warrior standing there, Santa Claus half naked and bleeding profusely, and then the next, it's Ultimate Warrior coming down somebody's chimney dressed as Santa. Sorry, the big guy can't make it.
You are a smelly pirate hooker. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of sad by it, but at the same time, Jim Hellwig, I guess is Warrior now, I just thought that the timing couldn't have been any more perfect to get him in the Hall of Fame while he still had a chance to say his goodbyes, and you got to remember him as he was before he became a fucking nutcase. And I mean, he was a nutcase the whole time, but you didn't realize that when you were watching the Warrior.
No, his entire speech was all about him and his detractors, and hey, guess what, guys? Yeah, you guys didn't like me when I was here in the 80s, but guess what? I'm up here. I'm up here still. I'm still up here. And then one of the local radio guys down here in Tampa said it correctly. Who
was it? Give him credit.
It was Cowhead.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Mike Calta. I'm sorry. They changed the name. It's the Mike Calta Show now.
Cowhead is dead.
And basically, he's telling a story about his uncle, and he's like, my uncle died in front of me at the dinner table after eating a piece of key lime pie. He's like, he finished eating it, he pushed himself away from the table and said that was the best key lime pie I ever ate, and then keeled over and died. You say to yourself, God, if I could drink a beer that's better than this, I'll die a happy man. It was probably Ultimate Warrior. I'll die a happy man if I can get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame and get to go to the ring one last time. He did it. Next day, dead.
I have a dark too soon theory. Turning into the Warrior one more time exploded his heart.
On that same kind
Too
of vein,
intense.
that same kind of vein, though, was that he had all this hatred for WWE and Vince and all that, and now it was all gone. It's like he had nothing to live for.
If you had the opportunity to go back and be remembered for all the good things that you did in your career, wouldn't you just go back, especially if you were sure that there wasn't going to be much time left? Because he knew. You knew he knew. That's why he gave the speech he gave.
I mean, Joe Paterno died, 3 months after being fired as Penn State's coach?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Larry King leave television because that fucker's going to croak within hours.
And that's why he's in my death pool. I'm only going to get 4 points, but I know I'm going to get those points soon.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's not a gone too soon kind of deal because he did it to himself with the steroids and the drugs back in the day. Do I feel bad for his wife and his 2 kids?
Can you imagine the amount of cocaine it takes to feel the Ultimate Warrior?
You put the rocket fuel in the rocket and the Warriors, we blast off into space, and we'll all be there forever. He couldn't even put the paint on one last time. He had to use a mask. I can't even say this. Let me take over that Warrior. It's like, you're the Warrior. Let me take over, Jim.
I think that was more because of they're trying to sell those Warrior masks. And I didn't realize it, but Matt kind of brought it up, was he legally changed his name to Warrior.
Yeah, to protect his copyright.
Yeah, so when he says that to Warrior, he's saying that to himself, and then when he puts the mask on, then now he's the Ultimate Warrior.
Well, yeah, but,
I didn't know
I imagine a couple of people in the WWE, in the universe, in the crowd, weren't really aware of it, and they were just like, wait a minute, is he confused or something? Because he
kind of goes with his character.
Every man heart beats its last beat, and their lungs draw their last breath. And if what you did in your life can bring glory to the masses, then you're the Warrior, and you're the Ultimate Warrior. I hate faggots. it's like God, because I'm watching it, and I'm just like, yay, tea parties. This is fucking weird. This is a weird promo, and then he dies a couple hours later, and it's like, oh, well, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's like he knew his time was coming, like a doctor told him, hey, your heart's going to give out at some point. I don't know when it's going to be, but you might want to start getting your affairs in order.
At least you got to look at the flowers, which brings up another point, is how right are we with the Walking Dead prediction?
Oh, yeah. He was the Walking Dead. Instead of... it's...
Exactly. We couldn't have been more on the money with the last 3 predictions that we made. The Daryl Dixon dying thing didn't happen, and that was me. But I was shooting for the stars at that point. I was right. My eye being right.
No.
For April Fool's Day, they made a
the Daryl Dixon comic. I shared it on Facebook. I thought it was badass.
That was awesome.
It was an obvious troll. Everyone was like, Daryl Dixon comic. Be like, it's April Fool's Day, you jackasses.
It's like you had a picture of 3 bikini models and a troll in the background. Obvious troll is obvious.
Exactly. With the helmet and the spear. But I thought that, there's one thing that I really hate that The Walking Dead does, is when they do these over-the-top, endings to the seasons where they have, these huge battle royales or whatever, the gunfire, explosions, and bullets looks fake as shit. It's like, the bullets look so bad, you're like, okay, yeah, the bullets are hitting the concrete, but there's no reaction to the concrete. They're shooting at their feet. It's because they're chasing them to something, you know? The whole ending, I thought, was stale as fuck, and you knew what Terminus was walking into it, so why don't you throw us a curveball? Be like, it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I just loved the end of it. I loved the end of it when, well, what are we going to do? Well, they have no idea who they're fucking with.
They changed it last minute.
Who they're messing with. I think they should have paid the FCC fines and had just Andrew Lincoln. They have no idea who they're fucking with.
And he was on Talking Dead talking about it. Yeah. They did it that way, and then they changed it.
That was the only take they did where he said messing.
Well, that Talking Dead, when they took the Skype calls from the fans, a lot of those people were fucking weird. But the one that sticks out to me was the final question when the girl's holding up the poster board, like in Love Actually. Yeah. And to me,
you couldn't wait to pull out your fucking chick flick reference.
Oh, absolutely. To me, you'll always be my Rick Grimes. And then you got that meme floating around the internet where it's like, he actually kept his promise, and he's standing there next to the bicycle girl from the first season. I loved it.
Nothing's gonna beat though that weird caller that called in that one time on Talking Dead. Do you remember that one?
It could have been any of them.
There's been like 50 episodes.
There was some weird. He was creepy as hell, like the way he was talking and what he was saying, and even Hardwick and the people on the couch were all just like, "Yeah, okay." And they kind of reference it every once in a while when they have like a weird call. But nothing's as bad as that dude.
The parakeet was pretty weird.
Yeah.
And
we're just watching the bird. I'm sorry, what was the question? I was paying too much attention to the bird.
They had to have somebody in the crowd shout it out to them what the question was.
I don't even remember what the question. All I remember is the ugly-looking bitch with the red streak in her hair and a bird.
Yep.
I don't even know what she was saying because I'm watching the bird like.
All I know is that Andrew Lincoln jobbed out Norman Reedus a lot of times, and I want to have a beer with that dude.
I would totally get hammered drunk. I would get what's the term, Dan? Schneckered?
Oh,
like don't be a wanger.
It's like rat-assed or
rat-assed?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Getting drunk.
Jesus Christ, Lizzie.
It's obviously the piss drunk.
Yeah, piss drunk. Yeah.
I mean,
sauced.
Put on a pisser.
Sauced. Yeah, that's another one.
And tie one off.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing, though.
No, like if we got hammered drunk, what would you call it? What would be the first thing to come to your mind?
Drunk.
That really would be. Yeah. Bloody hell, I can't remember anymore.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell. So British. God, we get a tax credit for hanging out with him.
That's right.
We're trying to Americanize him, but it's sticking. It's sticking okay.
It does, I mean, I sometimes get mixed up with the Australians. It's...
But that's still, you can pull that off. You can pull that off. You should be like, I'm from Brisbane.
Crocky.
That's actually better than your British, man.
I know.
Good on, mate. How you doing?
Good
from
on.
Brisbane,
That's not a
Gold Coast.
Yeah, what about this, though? You think with Jimmy Fallon's success in the whole the late night TV thing, and everybody loves Jimmy Fallon's show. I don't know if you've watched it yet, but it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert is tagged to take over for Letterman. What do you think?
As long as he brings Stiegel, Colbeagle, the Eagle with him, I'm totally cool with that. Actually, I couldn't be more excited. Stephen Colbert's a guy who deserves it.
I just want one thing. I want him to do the nation's threat countdown and it end with bears like it always does.
He needs to bring some of those reoccurring gags.
And I think that with the success of Fallon and him doing pretty much the same show like he did, at the later time, lends to Colbert being able to do a similar show. I mean, obviously cable versus regular TV, but I mean, at least have the same thing and not just be a generic guy kind of just talking.
Yeah, I mean, with Stephen Colbert, the person is fun to listen to. Stephen Colbert, the character, gets a little grating. I mean, he's being obviously conservative, but yeah, it's definitely fun to listen to Stephen Colbert do interviews, like when Stephen Colbert was on David Letterman, and just the two of them talking like random. Like guys.
Well, Colbert gets these awesome guests. Like, he had fucking Metallica on his show one time. He was like, what the fuck? How the fuck did you do that?
Comedy Central money, man.
Now, you think he was
whose money do you think is better?
Well, it's Viacom. It's the same parent company. There wasn't too much contract talk that needed to be done. It was just Viacom offering him the job.
Do you think they asked Jon Stewart first?
No.
And he declined?
I actually heard that he did. They asked for too much money, and he didn't want to leave, first of all, and he said, well, why not talk to Steven? He would love to do some shit like
And
that,
then
and they're going to
Steven's
extend
reps
his
call
show
him.
an hour.
Yeah, they're gonna take Jon Stewart to an hour now, is what I've been hearing, and they're gonna make it more like a real time with Bill Maher, only nightly. And he's going to get more opportunities to do the field pieces, which are always fantastic.
Extend it an hour and give 2 interviews instead of 1.
Yeah, or just a longer interview. Don't
'Cause
edit it and put it on the web.
If you were to double this show and I had to come up with creative content for like 5 hours, I'd lose my fucking mind. If you have to do that every night,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, they edit the interviews that they do with people. You know, the interviews end up being about 25 minutes long. And so you figure you get 16 minutes of commercials in a 1 hour show. So you got 44 minutes there, and if you're taking 25 of them doing an interview, then you got to make 17 minutes of content, which is what they make every night with the first 2 segments.
Yeah, you got the monologue and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing I wanted to bring up before we go on our relapse is that we actually have been talking to some bands, local bands, not just local, but some individuals. If you've got music that you really think is awesome, if you're part of a band that you think is really good, we're already talking to the Proper Crooks. We're talking to Burning Fair Verona. We have music already from the Jim Rican Band. We've got people who are already interested in getting their plugs out there. We just come email us, send us a sample of your music, let us know what's going on. What we're doing is that we're going to work out a share with you. We're going to play your music. We're going to plug your band. We're going to announce your show dates at the end of the show.
We can't afford to pay you.
No, we're not going to pay shit. I mean, if we start making money at some point, which is very unlikely, then we'll give you some too. But there's no sense in talking money. It's just about exposure. You expose us, we expose you, and we all make beneficial benefits. Plus, you get your music on YouTube on a show that people listen to, apparently, because we get nominated for shit, and we have a lot more viewers than we thought we did. So.
Yeah, it really boggled the mind, talking to people over at the Talkies, and they're like, "Oh, Media Rehab, yeah, we've heard of you guys." And it's just like,
One of the judges. I met one of the judges. He was a little snockered, but he was talking to me. He's like, "Oh, what do you guys do?" It's like, "Oh, I'm one of the hosts of Media Rehab." He's like, "Oh, I know you guys." I'm like, "How the fuck do you know us?"
And I'm just I want to talk to the pirate about getting his music. It's very Buffett-esque.
I would dig it, man.
Hey, you know what? I think that sitting, relaxing, drinking kind of stuff, yeah, that really fits the show.
We'll have our house band, but like who's going to do our intro music, and we have a song we really want, and I'm actually going on Wednesday to go listen to them. But the thing is that we're also interested in exposing as many bands as we can. If we can get you some exposure that you probably didn't get before, and you can just plug us once at your show, it's a mutual beneficial thing. Exposure. We expose ourselves to the public. And don't get arrested for it.
I'm good at exposing myself to the public. Yeah, there ain't no party like a Cameron party, and a Cameron party ends when I am pantless.
That is true. That's when it's time to go home.
Yeah.
I'm going to go relapse early. I can't fucking stand it anymore.
Time to relapse. We'll be back. And we're back from our self-imposed relapse.
I needed it.
So, we're going to go ahead. We're going to talk sports like we usually do in the segment called Yeah, Jeets.
Yeah, Jeets.
And while we're on the subject of athletes' sexual releases, Colin Kaepernick is in the news right now.
Good transition.
He's being accused of sexual assault down in Miami. He was hanging out with a couple of his friends. Ricardo Laquette is the only one that I remember.
Dirty motherfucker.
And he may or may not, or could be currently raping someone.
It's
At
kind
this
of
moment?
That's possible.
Anything's possible now.
Ben Roethlisberger?
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
Hey, that was alleged.
Well, this one, the girl ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Didn't they drop her off or something?
Yeah, she doesn't know how she got there. She remembers she was partying at the apartment, and then semen.
Here's my thing though. Is the question that I would raise to that: is it a case of an athlete taking his theory of I'm fucking famous so I can do whatever I want to, or is it a case of that athletes can't hook up anymore?
Well, did they do like a rape kit and everything?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's how he got brought into it.
No.
Yeah, they're currently investigating how she got to the hospital. Nobody knows. Nobody was paying attention. It's Miami.
Well,
Everybody comes in with stab wounds anyway.
I guess if she
That's
was,
racist.
I guess if she was that drunk, though, she probably wouldn't have been that
Here's the thing: if it was bad enough to go to the hospital, and it was bad enough that they ran the rape kit on her, then it was probably pretty fucking bad. And I think that dude might be going to jail, and Harbaugh might be looking for a new quarterback. Which brings up an interesting point, because John Harbaugh is always out there and saying, you could literally do anything and tell me, and I will work with you through it, except assault a female.
Yeah, anything involving a woman, and Harbaugh will help you out. As soon as you say, yeah, I punched a bitch in the face at the club, you're dead to him.
No. Which I really respect that out of a coach.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's like, oh, you got a DUI? All right, well, then here's what we're going to do.
Look what he did for Alden Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, I had Alden Smith go to rehab. And
had his back the whole time, and then brought him right back into the fold when he thought he was healthy.
But if what I was saying though is, like, if she was that drunk, maybe she wouldn't be resisting, so you couldn't tell if it was rape necessarily.
I know that if I'm blacked out, it's hard for me to resist anything.
Yeah.
I think it's really unfair to try to bring up the dynamic of what is rape, because something happened bad enough for her to get in there, and I don't think that you should ever put anybody in the position of saying that, was it really rape or not? But I think that in this particular instance, what we're discussing is it the fact that he may have done something wrong, or is it the fact that he's famous and that's why he's in the news, as opposed to a different point of view? I don't think that we need to get into the rape discussion.
I think that the new thing...
It counts if he's going to go to jail or not.
I think that the new thing needed are athlete pre-humptual agreements, like Dave Chappelle did.
Kobe, don't be raping.
Yeah,
Kobe.
Back in the Kobe Bryant thing, yeah.
Kobe, don't be raping.
Pre-humptual agreement. Sign it, yeah. Is this consensual? Check yes or no.
Anal.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Put your signature here if you don't mind me fisting your beehole. And, yeah.
But again, if she's intoxicated, they're going to say that she wasn't of right mind to sign it.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing:
it still covers their ass.
I really think that with the kind of the hellstorm of like athlete accused sexual assaults, you can go to that kid from Florida State,
James Winston.
You can go to Ben Roethlisberger, Rapelessberger. You can go to Alex Kaepernick now.
Somebody actually made a jersey with that.
He got it done at a professional store because I tried to do it through NFL.com and they wouldn't let me.
Won't let you.
Just like you can't do a Ron Mexico Jets jersey.
Nope.
I really want that jersey.
You can't even do a jersey of a guy that, let's say, was on another team, came to this team, and they haven't made one yet.
Yeah.
They won't let you do it.
No, I'm thinking about, actually, I've got a Lightning jersey. I'm going to do Bish Please on it for Ben Bishop, the goalie, because he makes so many saves. Bish Please.
I remember when it was going to be Honey Badger.
Yeah.
Or was it Connie Badger?
Connie Badger. Yeah, Corey Conacher.
Cameron's unofficial nickname is the Cammy Badger. We were playing Black Ops one time, and we were playing Kill Confirmed, and I'm following this guy around. He's my bullet shield. I'm basically using him as a way to see who's shooting from where so I can kill them. And this whole time, this kid's been getting his ass kicked, and I marked him because I know what he is. New kid, young kid, whatever he is, running around, and he finally kills somebody. And you could see in the controller, like the way the character was moving, he was so happy. He goes to run towards his dog tags, and Cameron comes by and snipes it. And I look at him and I say, Cammy Badger don't care. Cammy Badger doesn't give a fuck. And Cammy Badger was born.
Cammy Badger takes what he wants.
Nice. I would have figured it would have came from Tyrann Mathieu.
No. He was actually the Cammy Badger before the Honey Badger became famous.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he stole your
He stole my gimmick. That's gimmick infringement.
Oh, yeah, you should get him on that.
Yeah.
That's okay. He won't be famous for long.
Just wait until he gets popped for a drug test.
That's racist.
No, well, I mean, that's the reason why he got kicked out of LSU, is because he failed a drug test. So, a leopard can't change its stripes, even if they're black.
God damn it. This segment is so bad, man. with the rape thing and now the race thing.
He could have went with the hair because he always got like the frosted tips. I mean, that would have been...
Well, I think that's where he got the Honey Badger thing from, is that he's got the stripe down the top of his head. But, I mean, I think I think athletes really need to be on point, and then you really need to stop fucking around in the clubs and shit like that, because if you do something questionable, guess what? Now you're indicted for rape.
You're rich, man. Yeah, you got a target on your back.
No, yeah.
Same thing with all the guys getting DUIs.
No, people win in the lottery, they get
It's
murdered.
kind of hard to not get noticed for a DUI when you're driving your fucking Ferrari 160 miles an hour down the
And
goddamn
guess
road.
what? Yeah. The NFL Players Association gives you a card that has a phone number on it for your local area. The Players Association pays for a car service to be on standby.
Yep.
You call that number,
There's no
and they will
excuse.
pick you up. There's no excuse for an athlete to get a DUI.
It doesn't matter what time it is.
No.
They'll come get you.
Yeah, they'll come get you.
Yeah, your coach
anywhere.
will rip your ass about it, but fucking I would rather take an ass ripping from the coach than I would fucking get a DUI
You
charge.
you could be at the leader of a cartel's house in Mexico, and they'll drive from San Diego and pick you up, no questions asked, and it won't be reported to the NFL that you were drinking in a club or that you were at a notorious coke dealer's house.
Nope. It's just kind of a really sad state of athletes where you would be that stupid to put yourself in that situation to get in those kind of situations. I really kind of don't. I'm not surprised that Kaepernick's in trouble. I'm more surprised that it took him this long to get in trouble.
Yes. I expected it to be something like a DUI or an assault. And that's not a race thing. It's a demeanor thing.
He does have a very ugly disposition when it comes to
He looks like a guy that you could walk up to him and say, "Shut the fuck up," and he'll fucking beat you with a baseball bat.
I could throw a name at you like Russell Wilson, and you would never think that about Russell Wilson. But if I said Colin Kaepernick, you would absolutely think that about Colin Kaepernick. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
The worst thing I could see Russell Wilson doing would be not returning a library book on time.
And he would feel bad about it and post about it on Twitter.
Yeah. Praise be to the glory of God. Thank you for allowing me to return 762.985 in the Dewey Decimal System.
I can't see a guy like Richard Sherman getting in this kind of trouble, but I can easily see a guy like Alvin Smith getting in trouble. Yeah, LeGarrette Blount getting in trouble like that. You know, it's a demeanor thing. You have to be more cognizant of the way that you're viewed in society and the way that your image is portrayed. Because football it used to be a tough, hard-nosed hitting sport, and you know it's a very tough place to be. You put your body on the line every game. You're doing something completely different every week. You're going out there and you're trying to literally decapitate somebody to make your payday, right? So if you're this kind of guy, you're already kind of pigeonholed into being an aggressive type guy. So don't ever put yourself in a situation where it might be questionable. As an athlete who's making millions of dollars, you have to have better judgment.
Is he making millions yet? Or is he
No. He's still on the rookie contract, but they've been talking about
in the past 2 years, he's cleared $1 million.
A 9-figure extension for him.
I think he makes $650 a year.
No, second round pay. It's something like $150,000.
Oh, I was the only reason I know that is because of the Madden contracts, and in Madden it says that he makes $650 because Russell Wilson makes $750.
Well, Russell Wilson was taken 2 rounds after him.
Well, it's just weird. Maybe I have that flip-flopped in my mind.
Well,
that's why I picked him up for my Madden team.
First round picks make like 1.5 a year. And it just goes down from there.
The point is, he hasn't gotten to that big contract yet. He should be on his best behavior.
Well, it's ruined now. He has no chance of making big money now.
Fucking stab somebody after you sign a 9-figure contract. Yeah. Hell, you know what? Go lazy. Go Hainsworth.
Oh, man, don't
go Hainsworth. You know,
never go full Hainsworth.
As soon as you get a $100 million contract, you become the lazy son of a bitch that you want to be, because guess what? You just got paid.
Yeah, but you have to maintain a rate of play to keep getting paid. You can get that big salary contract and then get dumped off like Sanchez.
Yeah, because it's not guaranteed.
Well, depending on the guaranteed money. I mean, you're looking at a quarterback, he probably would have gotten about 40 to 45
million. Teams are getting smarter, though, about guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Talk about guaranteed money. You got Alex Mack just signed a deal. The Browns have a couple of days to react to it, but he got a deal for $46 million, and it's $26 million guaranteed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, you have a chance to make he's a center, and offensive linemen actually make deceptively a lot of money.
Is that 5 years?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the highest paid center in football.
Yeah. And remember Jeff Saturday's contract? It was ridiculous. It was pretty good. It was pretty good contract. Saturdays. You know, but the offensive linemen can make really good money, and if you're going to go out there, like look at Alex Mack for example, he's a really good center, and he's getting picked up he's getting these offers from other teams because he's got the ability, he's continued to show it. He's on a team that isn't doing very well, and on top of that, he's got a good image about him. You remember him in the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, yeah. Joe Thomas and Alex Mack at the Pro Bowl, yeah, they were fun. They're fun guys. They were guys that I'd want to have a beer with.
Yeah.
They're not Richie Incognito.
Well, I mean, Richie had a relationship with this friend, and, you know, if, like I said, if people could record the things we say to each other.
Oh, yeah. No, but I'm talking about, like, the videos that came out of Richie Incognito taking off his shirt and, yeah, bro, in a club and shit like that. You know, Alex Mack isn't that kind of guy. He'd probably sit at home
You're talking about the video with Marquise Pouncey where he, like, tears the fucking bar apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I think Alex Mack's the kind of guy that would just hang out at home reading stories to his kids over going out to a club. I think he'd punch Rich Incognito in the face if he ever was a teammate of him.
Richie's going to land on another team. I don't think that Jonathan Martin will. He might, but he might. I wouldn't hire that guy.
I think Rich Incognito might end up on the Bucks. We need a right guard.
I'd be okay with it. And under Lovie Smith, I think Lovie Smith could control a guy like that.
Yeah.
Listen, you can't be the guy that. I'm sorry, I'm going to do my Lovie voice. Listen, you can't be the guy that you were before.
No, listen. You can't be the guy that you were before.
I forgot he had a southern accent.
What we need here, football players.
I really like Lovey from way back in the day because when I was in high school, I actually attended school in St. Louis, and he was the defensive coordinator of the Greatest Show on Turf. And a lot of people didn't notice him because of Kurt Warner and all the receivers and Orlando Pace and Marshall Faulk and, you know, the guy I won't say his name because he's the bane of my existence.
Hakeem.
No.
Ricky Prohl.
The coach. I like Ricky
Mike Martz.
Steve Vermeil?
No, it's Mike.
Oh, Mike Martz.
And Mike had. Here's the thing: if you give me an All-Pro offensive line, an All-Pro receiving core, and one of the best running backs in football history, and you stuck some schlup at quarterback, I can win you a Super Bowl.
I mean, come on, Trent Green went 5-11 with that team.
So. With these contracts that are coming out, you're getting to see a lot of these big paydays, but like I said, 46, 26 guaranteed. They're letting $20 million linger out there because they're not quite sure.
A lot of it's deferred money. If you look, a lot of it's backloaded contracts, actually. And so, like going back to the Hainsworth deal, yeah, he signed 7 years, $100 million. In essence, it was a 3-year, $42 million deal.
But he was performing at the time, too.
Because in year 4, that cap number went up to $27 million, and that's obviously an unsustainable number, and that's something that you cut him on.
Football team's got $10 million this year. They're going to get more when the TV contracts are renegotiated. So you get this ability to give out these obnoxious contracts, but look at the way that Darrelle Revis's contract was formulated. It was $16 million a year, and every year is a renegotiating year. Yep. And he when he went to the Patriots, he said, "Oh, you know, I played Tampa for 16, but I'll play the Patriots for 12."
Yeah.
You know, and they can afford to give him that cap. They had to cut some things out, but I really didn't think they needed another
and
corner.
Revis is going to get to hit free agency, unrestricted free agency next year, in the middle of his prime with another good season.
I don't think he's the same guy. I think that he's got some issues. I think that ACL injury definitely detrimented his ability, and I think that part of the problem wasn't just Schiano not playing him in the man formation. I think a part of it is that if you're the best cornerback in the game, per you, right, and you're being matched up in a zone against a 3 or 4, you should be able to play that.
I'm interested in seeing what Revis does this year in New England. Because Belichick recognizes talent.
Yeah,
and he's going to say, you know what, everybody. Go out and do your thing, and I won't mess with you. I won't fuck with you. Just do your thing. And last year, Greg Schiano did not let Revis do what Revis does best. He stuck him in zone. He didn't put him in man. And the times when Revis got into man coverage and shut down a receiver, Schiano was jawing at his ass on the bench. Why'd you fucking leave your zone coverage? Because I'm not stupid. I get paid a hell of a lot more money than you. Go back to college.
He was the 3rd best coach in the worst division of college football.
Yeah.
He had no place on an NFL team. I think that when you're looking at these talents, you have to look at it, are you buying name value or are you buying ability? And at that point in time, we were buying the name value. We need to get some seats, some people in the seats. We need to sell some jerseys. We need a guy like Darrelle Revis so that we can
I feel so bad
pitch
for Mike. One of the guys that we tailgate with the last game of the season bought a throwback colored Darrelle Revis jersey.
Which he was never in.
Yeah, he never played in the orange jersey.
No.
But, I mean, fortunately it was 75% off of the jersey, so he only paid $25 for it.
Little did we know that the remarketing campaign was coming out.
Yeah, but damn. I felt so bad for Mike in that one.
Well, I mean, it's okay to do that because I think that you could still rep that jersey because it was a very important part of Tampa history with the way that rolled out. Even though he was only here for the season and he really didn't do much, I think that it shows the end of an era. And I think end of the era jerseys are okay. Like you can still wear your Jerome Bettis jersey or your All-Star jersey or your
Derek Brooks.
Yeah, Derek Brooks
Ronnie
jersey.
Barber.
You can wear a LT jersey. You can do a lot of different things with jerseys.
If Shockey never comes back, I can start wearing my Shockey jersey again for the Giants.
Yeah, that would be okay because that was the most impactful performances that he had for a team was on the Giants.
Has he been in the league the last 2 years?
No, he played for Carolina a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Craig Olsen, and then last year he was supposed to play, but I think he got injured in preseason.
He didn't make the team that he was trying out for.
Damn, I
forget
feel bad for Jeremy Shockey. I liked him.
I don't even remember.
I like Jeremy Shockey. He was a tough son of a bitch.
But Jeremy Shockey was one of those guys who had that image about him too, where he was too rough and tumble. He would get in trouble. You had some issues. He was really mouthy.
Every time he got a first down, he was acting like he won the Super Bowl. I was like, dude, just whatever. You got a first down, give it back to the huddle.
Yeah, and you have to think about the contracts that are sitting out there. I would have never paid Darrelle Revis $16 million to play because I didn't believe that he was going to be okay coming off of that ACL injury.
I think the trade was worse than the money they paid him.
Well, I mean, a lot of that had to do with Greg Schiano and his want of getting the bad guys off the team. But look what happened to those bad guys.
LeGarrette Blount, 4 touchdowns in a playoff game. Akeem Talib, Michael Bennett. Yeah, they're not Buccaneer men. We're trying to make Buccaneer men here. Fuck you, Schiano.
Turns out they're NFL men, and they're not doing so bad, are they?
Yeah.
Which brings up to light the trade of LeGarrette Blount over the Steelers. Now you've got what's his name?
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blount. So you got a 1-2 power punch and that old school kind of. I have a feeling that the Pittsburgh Steelers are in some trouble. All right, Dick LeBeau's really old, and he's not letting go of they let go of Ryan Clark, which is okay, but they kept Troy Polamalu,
well, they
which is
replaced
not
Ryan
okay.
Clark with somebody younger
and better.
Yeah, what was that? Mike Mitchell from Carolina,
I believe so. Yeah. But you're also getting that old school Steeler, 1-2 punch where Steelers was never about when they let go when Jerome Bettis retired, and they went with Willie Parker as their number one guy. They used
Fast Willie Parker.
Speedy Willie Parker.
He reminded me of a character from Song of the South.
He reminded me like a less talented work done.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the reason why he was the number one starting back in Pittsburgh for the longest time. And then now I'm looking at the running back core they have, where I've been saying this for a long time. LeGarrette Blount is not a number one running back. He's a package running back. You use him in specific situations. He is your Mike Allstott. Use him to punch the line for a couple of inches.
He wasn't even the main guy when he was in Oregon.
No.
And in those spurts, he was
That was Jonathan Stewart, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think he was there for Jonathan Stewart's senior year, and then somebody else came in behind him.
Yeah,
and took over that job.
He was like that change of pace guy.
But who really knows who the running back in Oregon is? Because they never run the fucking ball. Oh, no, it was LaMichael James.
LaMichael James.
It's funny how I remember that all of a sudden. Because he's buried on the depth chart.
You're getting that 1-2 punch, and you're getting Le'Veon Bell to take the bulk of the carries, and then when Le'Veon Bell gets a little beat up, he's run twice, then you put in LeGarrette Blount to finish off that 3 yards. So it's a good move. He's a very functionable package running back. You just put him in a system with 1 or 2 guys. The other thing that I was looking at is that a lot of teams are overcommitted on salary. So these contracts have to become more intelligent. You have to backload them. You have to have the ability to get out so that now you're going on a merit system. You have to be able to perform to make your money every year.
A lot of them are backloaded, 4 or 5 years into the future. When the NFL salary cap this year is projected at, 150 it was? Or
something
130?
Like
no, 132.
Yeah, next year it's supposed to be projected at 155.
Yeah.
The following year it's 168 and 190 and...
You got to pay your talent you already got, though.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to attract free agents to come there. I think Tampa becomes a very interesting place to come to because we have no state tax.
And guess what? We're going to roll over salary. We're going to roll over what's left after the rookie pool to next year.
And I think the best
CBA
thing was,
allows that.
When a couple of years ago, when I think it was Goodell, when he was still when he first came in, they changed the structure of the first round draft pick, so you weren't
the rookie wage scale.
You weren't getting the $60 million guaranteed from the number one pick anymore.
Yeah, so spending a first round pick on a quarterback doesn't deter.
What about a quarterback that gets a 32 on the Wonderlic and is probably one of the most talked about names in all of football?
You know what? I was actually going to go a completely different way with handcuffing a team to a quarterback. I was going to say, wasting a first overall pick on a guy getting $55 million a year who consistently gets injured and has a history of injuries in college.
Well, I mean, Sam has got some issues, and when they drafted him, I already thought that was kind of... It's Sam Bradford, by the way.
Yeah, we're talking about the quarterback for the St. Louis Rams, Sam Bradford.
He's already had issues coming out of Oklahoma. He had that massive shoulder injury, and I really questioned what the fuck they were doing by taking that guy, despite the fact that he already had a history of injury. And it seems like every season he has some kind of catastrophic problem.
And whether it's the hamstring, or it's the ACL, or it's a sprained shoulder, it's the other arm. It's every year. I mean, that's the kind of thing that kills a franchise right there.
It's the kind of thing that can severely handicap a franchise, and it's not for a lack of the defense, because I think the St. Louis Rams have a tremendous defense. Laurinaitis, Robert Quinn.
They're hurting on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, Janoris Jenkins is back there. They just lost Cortland Finnegan, right?
Yeah, they just let him walk.
And which I agree with, because he really wasn't that
Old
great
and
last year. And he
fits in on the Steelers.
He does. He's not decrepit enough. There's not dust coming out of his helmet. The problem is that I think that they tried to bring in this youthful injection into the offense, and the running game isn't figured out. Their wide receivers are still working it out, and you have this injury-prone quarterback.
Well, they don't have any wide receivers. They drafted Tavon Austin. He underperformed for the first 11 weeks of the year.
Well,
and then behind him, you've got 6 inches of shit, and then you've got their receivers. Their receivers wouldn't be number ones or number twos on any other team in the league.
You mean like Greg Schiano's receivers?
Exactly. No, I completely agree. And so they did a lot to help Bradford by signing Kenny Britt this offseason. And with that number 2 pick, if they don't trade out of it, if they don't trade it to anybody, they can go ahead and they can take a Sammy Watkins and get that dynamic, once in 5-year receiver.
Kenny Britt is another one of those guys with tremendous problems, though. He always has an issue going on, whether it's an injury or a legal problem.
But here's the thing: Kenny Britt had his legal problems after Jeff Fisher was fired with the Tennessee Titans.
True, and
Kenny Britt was drafted by Jeff Fisher. So you're putting him
first round pick.
Yeah, you're putting him back into that structure, and they're going to pick up more picks because I think Atlanta's going to trade up to number 2 so they can grab Clowney.
I think with 2 picks they need to take a quarterback.
I think they're more suited to the Mettenberger or Aaron Murray in the 3rd or 4th round,
which is fine. But
take
with
a guy
2 first-round picks, you need to try to invest in a quarterback that can give you a long-term solution, because clearly Sam Bradford is not.
If Manziel by some chance was to fall to their 2nd pick,
I don't see him falling that far.
No. I don't see it either.
With his Wonderlic score being decent at 32, he's the best scoring quarterback out of that draft class. And with his ability, his pro day was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The best thing he ever did was go on the Gruden camp, because Gruden actually grilled him.
Hey, so Johnny Football over here, you want to recreate that play against Alabama for me?
God damn it, John, we told you
that one where you get your head right up the right guard's asshole, and then you bobble the ball, you recover it, and you throw a strike to Evans.
And he recreated it, no problem. And he's a very inventive guy. I mean, I had a big problem because I don't like the aura that comes with Johnny Football, but I actually got a chance to sit there and learn about the quarterback, and I think one of the biggest things that he's been doing is that he learned the difference between going out and being a jackass, because guess what? You haven't heard Johnny Manziel's name in a little while.
No, he got all of his shit out of him in college, and he's all business.
Which is great, because I'll take a Johnny Manziel all business all day.
Oh, 7th overall pick, buddy.
I hope he does come here.
7th pick.
I've
already got my number 2 Manziel jersey on pre-order.
It's a perfect situation for him, because he's going to be sitting behind Josh McCown, maybe, but he's got Josh McCown there to give him the perfect kind of advice to sit with a guy who's very smart.
And he can bitch slap Mike Glennon, which is something I've wanted to do for a year.
The defensive ends have sharp talons.
Hey, shut up, bitch. Man, shut the fuck up.
He's the the most Napoleon, besides Nick Foles, he's the most Napoleon Dynamite looking dude.
See, Mike Glennon is Napoleon Dynamite. Nick Foles is John Heder, the guy who played Napoleon Dynamite. Like, I'm waiting for him to come out and sequence
Napoleon Dynamite has a name?
Yeah, John Heder. You ever see that movie, The Benchwarmers? Fuck it. Nobody ever did.
Outside of Napoleon?
Yeah, he's done a couple of Blades of Glory.
Yes, that was a great movie, though.
But you've got the ability to pick up a quarterback who's coming out now, and I know your mom came out there and said she liked Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, and I slapped that down. She's like, I just watched Teddy Bridgewater. I'll read you the exact text too.
It was rough,
hilarious. she's like, I'll take Teddy Bridgewater all day. Tough, smart kid. So
smart is not a way to describe him.
I text her right back like 5 minutes later. I'm like, can't make the throws. The problem is, with or without gloves. He's from Miami, no gloves. Got to Kentucky, cold, needed gloves. Had Yo get used to the needs of the environment. Once he did, he was good. Watch the show and we'll talk.
Guess what? 70% of the places you're going to play are cold.
Yeah.
You're going to decide to just wear the glove that day or what? He's got all kinds of intelligence problems too.
The better pros are telling me, watch the show and we'll talk. It's like, listen here. You know what? I've hauled off and I've been studying this draft class for the last how many months?
Lots.
I mean, in the middle of the regular season, I was sitting there just breaking down this draft class.
They mostly come at night.
Yeah, no.
When I watch Gruden on that show, though, I just sit there and I go, "There's no way he's going back to coaching."
He has way too much fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's just loving life doing that, and then he's got Monday Night Football. I mean, why would he ever?
He's
go back
the new John Madden.
Yeah.
But if he does come back, he's got details on 31 other teams in the league that nobody else has.
Very dangerous guy.
And that's the kind of guy that you would see go to Dallas, because Jerry would be like, "Hey, John,
I don't think
you got
he can
intel on
coexist with
all
him.
of them." Yeah,
I think if he came back, it would be to a team that was like almost like right there, about to hit the hump, and he comes in for like a year or two, and he gets that other title, and then he'll walk away and go right back into the booth.
Yeah, like San Diego in 2 years when
He's already got his ring. He has nothing left to prove. He can have so much fun sitting in ESPN and just doing whatever.
You know what's better than 1 ring? 2 rings, Eli.
I'm so okay with that, because I'm okay with Eli being the better brother because of the championships. I can't. I wish I could sit at that Thanksgiving Day dinner like fucking 10 years from now.
Hey, Eli, pass the gravy.
Shut up, Peyton. 2 rings never passes to 1.
I would pass it, but you probably wouldn't catch it like your receivers.
It doesn't matter. Still got 2 rings. How many do you have?
Mom would intercept it.
Hey, we all know what's said about you playing in November.
2 rings? The fun thing is that we get to sit back and we get to speculate on this draft class. There's a lot of really decent quarterbacks coming out, and whether or not any of them are going to shake out is awesome.
Which we're putting together a draft special episode. We're going to spend the entire episode breaking down the NFL draft.
At least the majority of it, it's going to be decent.
Some mock drafts. We're going to go through and we're all going to give our opinion on it. I'm really looking
close
forward
to draft day. I think is when we're going to do that.
That's in a couple of weeks. So
Cameron Kuiper is going to show up.
Yeah, Cameron Kuiper Jr. Yeah, Cameron Mayock. And I love this guy.
The other thing that I think we should cover is we do watch it sometimes, and it's a forefront of a lot of other communities as well. Hockey,
ESPN doesn't cover it. I don't care.
Yeah, they kind of bitch out on hockey.
ESPN doesn't cover it. I don't care.
Only for those 2 years that they actually had the rights to it. They
they gave a shit.
Yeah.
But,
here's 75 minutes of baseball clips and 10 seconds of hockey.
Breaking news in ESPN, Johnny Manziel farted. He farted.
And the hockey scores are buried on the bottom crawler, hidden by their logo.
Yeah, they do the crawl on the bottom, and it's like 10 seconds it goes across. It's like hockey.
It's lightning fast.
It's over for an hour.
Yeah, on other sports you'll see, all right, they'll show you the score, then they'll show you this guy had this many hits or this many touchdowns, whatever. Hockey is just score. All right, now we're going to rugby.
And there's a lot of other stuff, because I think that if more people focused on hockey and got to see how good of a sport it actually is, you get a lot more fans from hockey, because Tampa's, surprisingly, that's the team we root for the most. You know? They're the ones that win.
It's much better in person, though.
I mean, come on, that's better than some, like, youth hockey team down in Key West, right?
But here's what we got. We got Detroit versus Boston.
Oh. Yeah,
and it's the first season that Detroit's on this side.
And you know what?
Yeah,
Detroit's playing very good right now.
They're starting to blow up.
Injuries too.
Yeah, and they're playing very good, and they're not even at full strength. That team is going to be dangerous if it gets to a Game 5, Game 6, Game 7.
There's only one thing I'm not looking forward to. That is the Walrus's posts about Detroit.
Oh God.
He's already started to.
Yeah, I know. We already made fun of him for posting the D. You love the D, man.
Well, we beat Boston 3 out of 5 times this year. All right, well, that's the regular season.
I think if it gets to a Game 5, 6, 7, Detroit becomes that much tougher to beat, because Detroit's a team that plays very well on the road. Yeah. You can look at the road splits compared to the home splits, and if they could play 82 games a year outside of the Joe Louis Arena, when they don't have to deal with gunshots.
Wait. It's Detroit. There's always gunshots. Hey, you're flying to Detroit? So are we. Sign bullets.
What else we got in the Eastern Conference?
I've got it mixed around. I just got a bunch of teams listed down. We got Montreal versus the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Give me the Lightning in 6.
Bish, please.
Hashtag a-hole.
We also have Dallas versus Anaheim.
Anaheim's going to mop the floor with Dallas. Dallas is a team that doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs this year, but the Western Conference is so fucking weak that... Well, I don't think
so. The Western Conference is strong.
The Western Conference isn't weak. The Western Conference is very top-heavy.
Yeah.
There are 5 great teams in the Western Conference, and then everybody else fucking sucks. So Dallas is like the bronze medal in the Special Olympics right now.
All right, San Jose versus LA.
San Jose is going to choke it away. LA Kings in 5.
They always do. Whenever they're like an 8 or 7 seed, they go on this crazy run. Whenever they're on the top, they fold.
Yeah. Give me LA in 5.
Rangers Flyers.
I want to be a brutal war.
I want the Rangers to go to the Eastern Conference Finals so we get their second first-round pick.
Yeah,
because of the deal.
I want it to be Tampa Bay versus New York in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we steamroll over them. Hey, not only do we take your chance at the cup, but we also took your first-round pick.
I wouldn't mind that either, just so I can watch them come down here.
I don't think Marty St. Louis scored a goal for the Rangers yet.
He's got a couple.
Did he?
Yeah, finally.
I know he had a couple of assists, but he went like 15 games there without scoring for him.
Looks like Marty's the shit sandwich, and Callahan actually is pretty good.
Oh yeah, man, Callahan's got like 3 game winners for us. I'm all
sign that dude.
I hope you guys can sign him, because
give him $5.5 million. He wants $6.5. Give him $5.5. No state sales tax. He'll stay.
And he was willing to sign for less. He just wanted the years, and the Rangers didn't want to go for the years. So if the Lightning give him that extra year that the Rangers weren't willing to,
in Stevie Y, I trust.
Yeah, Stevie's not done us wrong so far. No. He's been doing a really good job. Colorado, Minnesota.
That's kind of a toss-up. Colorado's playing out of their mind this season.
I think it's going to burn out, though.
And they've got a backup goaltender. They've had a backup goaltender for the last month or two. Is it Patrick Waugh? It's not. No, Patrick Waugh.
He's running the team.
No, that's Peter Forsberg.
I think Patrick Waugh took over.
Oh, well, I don't know. But,
we would know if ESPN actually fucking covered it.
Yeah, that team's been unbelievable this season. It's a shock because they were the first overall pick last year.
Yeah,
and now they're sitting there in the playoffs.
And he's kind of unheralded, but Gabriel Landeskog, he came in the same draft as Stamkos. But Stamkos obviously has this huge shadow nobody else can see, and he's been quietly equaling the production.
Yeah. Yeah. Statistically, yes.
Yeah, plus-minus wise, but goals and assists, I mean, Stamkos will wipe the floor with them.
Well, he can't always go by goals and assists, but he's close.
No, he's very consistent. Very consistent on the line that he plays. Gosh, I'd say Colorado, this is a magical season for them. I'll put them through the first round. I say they'll do it in 7.
Blues, Blackhawks. See, here's my thing. I'm from St. Louis.
The team that makes it out of that series is going to go all the way to the Cup. Because that's an unbelievable first round. I am so sad that you can't have Chicago, Minnesota in the first round and Colorado, St. Louis. so that this doesn't go to like the Western Conference Finals.
I'm
Why
afraid
can't
they're
they
going to beat the piss out of each other.
Yeah, and I think whatever team comes out of there will be the representative for the Western Conference.
I say St. Louis. Even though they're playing kind of crappy right now, I think that they'll be able to turn it up in the postseason.
T.J. Oshie, Ryan Miller.
The great American hope.
I mean, they go off in the trade deadline. The rich get richer, okay? Yeah. They go off and they grab Ryan fucking Miller, a top 5 goalie from the Buffalo Sabres.
One of the best, yeah.
And it's not fair. If you really look at it.
Look how shitty their position has been for so many years. They were a totally garbage team for 10 years, and then all of a sudden, ever since they lost, Pronger. Ever since they lost Pronger and a couple of the other guys, like Keith Tkachuk and some of those other guys, they were never able to really turn it around. And then all of a sudden they get this dynamic coach in there, and he starts building something out of a shit sandwich.
And
they all of a sudden became playoff contenders because they picked the right picks, they get the right guys. They're very Lightning-esque and able to build their team to be something good. They're playing like shit right now, but I think that's going to change in the postseason.
And you know what they did that made them turn around so well? Brett Hull's in the front office. You look at the majority of these teams that are in the playoffs right now, they have an NHL Hall of Famer, either a special assistant to the general manager, some kind of VP of hockey operations or something. And Toronto is going to be one of these teams to look at because they just hired Brendan Shanahan to be the VP of hockey operations.
A lot of those old Detroit guys are starting to become really good
Stevie
choices
Y
for management.
I mean, I think, who was the goalie for Detroit back in the day?
The one from the Sabres?
Not Hasek.
Not Dominic Hasek.
Chris Osgood?
No, it is Dominic Hasek. Dominic Hasek's like running one of the KHL teams that is just stomping a mud hole in the rest of them.
I actually have a hockey guy, and they actually run their own hockey podcast. But I'm going to talk to them about what they think and see if they don't want to contribute and see what they have to say about the hockey, because those are two really, really big hockey guys.
I will say this. I know I get to shave my beard tonight, and it's going for the first round. Gets trimmed in between rounds, like a playoff beard should. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to trim it.
Yeah, just let it go. Go full Daniel Bryan, man.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Okay.
Bitch, please.
Let's change the gear. So baseball is something that we talk about every now and again. We do watch baseball. We like baseball. But something kind of controversial popped up in the last few days. Michael Pineda.
And it wasn't controversial at the time. Because
until we got to see his hand.
Yeah.
It's either Dookie or Pine Tar. It's one of the two.
Yeah, nothing happens to the Yankees, but goddamn it, Sammy Sosa has a corked bat, and everybody's up in arms.
Or George Brett back in the day with Pine Tar.
Everybody uses Pine Tar. Everybody uses something to get an advantage.
But with the pitcher using Pine Tar, he gets a completely different spin on that ball. It's a completely different baseball. And I think there needs to be some sort of penalty involved, because that was my ass, that was dirt, because dirt doesn't look like Pine Tar, and that looked like Pine Tar.
You ever, wiped your butt, and then, your finger goes through the TP?
Oh.
That's exactly what it looked like.
It's either Dookie or Pine Tar. That's what I'm saying.
But
that was a lot of Dookie if you missed it.
Between Pine Tar, sunscreen, gelled shaving cream, Deadspin did a great article about the ways that you can cheat in baseball, and they talked to former Major League pitchers. I guess it's a combination of all three, and it becomes like they could toss you a ball and you catch it with your fingertips, and it's like that scene in The Replacements when he claps his hands together and you can't pull them apart from the stickum. It becomes like that. And
you're talking about having completely different control on the ball, and unnatural control.
That makes your 12-6 curve drop to the fucking 7th circle of hell before it hits plate. Yeah.
We have those pictures on the brim. They have A&D ointment or something, and they're just playing with the hat or whatever, just fixing it.
No, they're wiping it on their fingers and they're rubbing their hands.
Yeah.
And then they're putting their glove back on and touching the ball, and it's just nasty.
Yeah, something needs to be done about pitchers and any kind of substance that isn't rosin on the mound. Oh, I sweat. You're wearing sunscreen. You're greasy as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you putting on sunscreen? It's 9:30 at night. That one pisses me off. Clay Buchholz did that. It was inside of the Toronto Sky Dome in September at 8 o'clock at night, and he's sitting there putting on fucking sunscreen. You're a fucking idiot.
The lights are bright, man.
The lights, man.
Yeah, it's Canada, eh?
So the other thing that I really want to talk about is our Darren and I's passion, and you can contribute to this, our local Brit. And Cameron, your analysis on soccer has gotten a lot better too since you've been watching it. And
I got the ball. Thank you for the ball.
But Champions League is in full effect. We just got our final result, or not our finals, but our semi-final results.
Final four.
Yep, and it's going to be, the first grouping is Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich, my team. And I really thought that Bayern Munich kind of showed a shit show when they showed up to Old Trafford, and they had the 1-1 draw. I was really proud of Manchester United under David Moyes, who I fucking hate, coming out there and really kind of just crashing the box and not letting them score. And then I was kind of expecting a little bit of the same, and they held the 0-0 draw until, like, what was it, the 60th minute? And they scored. And then Cameron got excited because, you know, that's this chance, and I just immediately shouted out retaliation goal. And he's like, you can't let me enjoy this for like 5 minutes.
I didn't even, I wasn't allowed to enjoy it, you know, by either the game or my roommate.
No,
because as soon as Bayern scored, he's up on the couch, yeah, you can suck my dick! And Man U scored, and I'm like, woo!
Yeah, so Man U scores, and it was Patrice Evra who scored, and then immediately, within 3 minutes, they fucking retaliate goal.
It wasn't even 3 minutes. It was 25 seconds.
Yeah, 98 seconds or something. Yeah.
It was on the clock. It was 3 minutes. As soon as the celebration was over and they got to kick it, they just drove it back and scored again. And I'm like, oh, Bayern, yes,
and it's like, hey man, show some class.
I can't, man.
Act like you've been there.
I was a drunken wreck too, I think, at the time as well.
Yeah, he was.
And that's how you watch soccer, man. And so then within like another 5-10 minutes, Mario Mandzukic comes up and scores another goal. So and then at 76, I think it was, there goes, you suck my dick! I am Dutch, isn't that weird? So with their kind of triumphant overflow on my Manchester United, way too late if you ask me, they're going in against Real Madrid, who's kind of a striking dynamo, and they didn't squeak out. They just kind of beat Borussia Dortmund's ass in the first round, and then they came back and they lost 2-0 against Borussia Dortmund. Marco Reus, despite all his chances, tried to bring them back from the brink, but he couldn't. And Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't even on the field. Can Bayern defeat another striking dynamo with Gareth Bale and Karim Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo?
It all depends on how healthy Ronaldo is, because he's missed the last couple of his regular league appearances, and I'm sure, you know, what is it, like maybe in a couple of weeks now before they play the next round of UEFA, he probably will be healed up in time, but I don't know if Bayern's going to be able to withstand if all three of them are healthy.
Here's the thing, too, is that I don't think that Real Madrid's defense is that good either. And I think that with Pep Guardiola leading the Bayern offense and having to rely on Mario Götze, Ribéry, and Robben, and Mario Mandzukic, Müller, and Klose, I think that there may be too many striking options for Germany.
On the team.
I'm sorry.
He's on...
Götze.
Yeah, Götze.
I said Götze.
Yeah, I thought you said Klose.
Yeah, no, it's Mario Götze. He's one of the center midfielders. He's one of the attack centers, and he's very. He kind of didn't show up the last game, even though no, he didn't score a goal. It was Thomas Müller, I'm thinking of, that scored the goal.
It was Müller that scored
Mandzukic, Müller, and then Robben. And then I just think that his creative ability is really awesome. He's kind of like a shorter, pygmy version of Mesut Ozil, but he's more like Wayne Rooney in the fact that he can come through there and direct balls with his head and stuff like that. And so
he was very active. He didn't score, but I mean, he was always right. In the
creators are always have a place in soccer. Okay, if you create chances, you have an ability to play on a team. But with this team layout the way that it is, I think that Bayern has really got. When I was talking to Cameron about the layout, I was like, the only team I don't want to see is Atletico Madrid, and Atletico Madrid is going to play Chelsea.
They're scary right now. Yeah. They're incredibly scary right now.
Is Diego Costa going to come back, or is it going to be David Villa in striking position?
David Villa.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that Atletico Madrid has some really talented striking ability with Turan, Diego Costa, David Villa, Koch. Koch is the guy who scored the goal to open up against Barcelona.
Yep.
They knocked out Barcelona. That's not an easy feat. I mean, Barcelona's kind of like decaying under their own age. You know, Xavi and Iniesta are both kind of...
And the ban they're about to get is going to totally kill them also.
No, it's like a 14-month ban or something like that.
From
Maybe
transfer
longer.
windows, yeah.
So they're going to lose this summer window, next winter, January window, and then the following summer. So basically, they can't do nothing until like January 2016.
And for Neymar, I don't think it was worth it.
No, not at all.
You're talking about crippling your team because you did some shifty shit. I'm finally glad that a team like Barcelona got called out for that shit, because it seems like Barcelona or Real Madrid or Bayern always get the top talent, and Bayern kind of picks and chooses their pieces, so you can't really call them out for picking up guys. They just kind of pillage Borussia Dortmund and laugh about it, like I do. Fuck Dortmund.
2 years in a row getting their 2 best players.
Yeah,
So basically
Goetze
that
and
means-
Lewandowski.
So basically, in a year or two, we're going to see
The year
Moyes-
before that, Kagawa got pillaged from them to go to Manchester, which David Moyes does not use correctly. And but with Chelsea, I think the English teams have this tendency to crash the box with like 8 or 9 guys, and they try to hold up the defensive motion and then try to counter-strike. Samuel Eto'o is 34 years old, and Fernando Torres is the perennial letdown at Chelsea. You know, but they also have other guys like Demba Ba that they can go to. So I think that I think just out of sheer volume, the matchup is whether or not Atletico Madrid can defeat the box-crashing, stupid-ass football style of Chelsea.
Well, I think a bigger thing that's going to come into play also is Atletico is still fighting for a league title, and Chelsea kind of is right there also. But in 3 weeks, we might be able to tell, you know, if they're even having a chance, and they might just not even care about their regular league anymore and just focus on everything on UEFA.
I think you have to, because they're like, what, 2 points away?
Who?
Chelsea.
Chelsea's two points back right now.
From Liverpool.
And Atletico is tied at the top of the table with, I think, Real.
It's Real. Yeah, Barcelona's in third now.
Yeah.
The thing is that you're looking at these great striking formations from the Spanish leagues, and then Spain, it's more about goal scoring than it is about defense, where in England it's more about protecting the net and then trying to counter-strike as opposed to the more offensive stylings. That's why I like a team like Liverpool. Liverpool versus Man City was today. It was a great game. It ended up going 3-2. I would really like to see my boy Sanchez stop.
Sanchez is dirty.
Suarez. Yeah. Luis Suarez fucking stop flopping everywhere,
biting people.
That's so horrible.
But I was really kind of I've like I said earlier in previous podcasts, I've really been kind of rooting for Liverpool because it's been like 24 years since they got their shot, and Brendan Rodgers kind of seems like the guy who's going to push them over the mountaintop. And I really kind of want to see Steven Gerrard get his title. You know, it's been a long enough drought in Liverpool. Yeah. They're playing really lights out football, and they're the only team in England right now that is having that really offensive kind of striking. Suarez, Gerrard, who's dropping back and playing defense sometimes too. You got Sturridge and what's his face, the other guy. I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but it was a really good game, man.
Sterling.
Sterling. Yes, that's it.
Well, see, you know, today when I was watching it, and they mentioned that they haven't won in 24 years, and I thought that was crazy. I was like, no, I think they have. And then I looked, you know, since they created the Premier League and, you know, they changed everything.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, I was like, teams like Blackburn won a title, and Newcastle won a title.
Rovers.
And I was like, holy cow, it's insane. And obviously, Man U has won like 13 of like the 20 or something. You know?
That has a lot to do with Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yes. Yeah. You know, and then, you know, Arsenal won a couple, Chelsea won here and there.
You hear Alex Ferguson got the job at Harvard?
Yes, I did. I saw that.
That's crazy. It's like bringing in the Pope to coach your football team.
Wow.
I mean, what is? I don't see what the benefit is for him to do that, but
Just hang out, do what he loves to do, just stop worrying about David Moyes and Manchester United because he's been in almost every game.
you know, I think their run in the UEFA is going to probably save Moyes' job, at least for another year.
He's got one more year to make it to put it together. If he doesn't do it next year, if he doesn't turn it around, because you're talking about an EPL season where Manchester United sitting at 6 or 7.
Yep.
You're talking about they're not even going to be in Champions League next year. When's the last time Manchester wasn't in Champions League in the top 4? It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's doing such a shit job and he has all the pieces he needs. Yeah, Rooney's injured. Yeah, RVP's injured, but you still have Kagawa, Juan Mata. You have Valencia.
Yeah, Mata didn't even play in the second matchup against Bayern, and that really
He wasn't even in the
confused me.
subs.
Wow.
It confused me, and I hadn't heard anything about an injury.
And he had that lights-out performance just a couple of days earlier in the EPL.
Yeah.
He saved the show.
Yeah, it was definitely weird why Mata was not present.
Sometimes as coaches, they just make the wrong decisions. And
David Moyes seems to make a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we're going to change gears, and we're going to one of the popular segments that's been back. It's called Matt Wins the Game. Yeah. It's where we put on a game show about popular culture, and you have no chance of winning because I made the game.
I had a fair showing last time, didn't I?
God damn it.
Yeah, I still won. So, like we all know, when I was a kid, I used to read gossip mags on the shitter, blah, blah, blah. So, I created this game just so we can have fun and just kind of shoot the shit for a couple minutes before we end the show and whatever. But the first question of the game is name all three of Michael Jackson's kids. Anybody do it?
Blanket.
Yeah.
One.
I was going to say
Paris.
1, 2.
Prince.
And Prince.
That's 3. Okay. Who's her mom of 2 of the kids?
That blonde chick that was doing.
What's her name?
Debbie.
Debbie something, yeah.
Debbie
Rowe.
Yeah.
It's Debbie Rowe. Which 2 kids are hers?
That's
Blanket and Paris.
no, it's Prince in Paris.
It's Prince in Paris. All right. Selena Gomez fired her agent. Who was it?
Who was her agent?
Yeah.
Master P.
Good guess. Anybody else got a guess?
No.
Somebody with a pedophile.
It was her parents. She fired her parents.
Too bad Miley can't learn from that.
Yeah, I know.
My achy breaky contract.
Dad, I'm breaking my word.
How much of a shit show is that, though? I mean, like, that chick can't stop nosediving. And then she's trying to twerk with her flat ass. It's just not good. But your ass so flat.
Yeah.
It's really hard to watch. He's over there grinding on Robin Thicke, like, ruining his marriage and shit. He's like, hey! I look like Beetlejuice.
Yo, you're really blurring these lines here, bitch.
Aw,
Very nice.
Amanda Bynes is, quote, air quote, drug-free.
Wow.
She looked fantastic in the bikini pictures she posted.
Did she?
Recently?
Yeah. She put them on Instagram and Twitter. Oh, she looked fantastic.
Thank her plastic surgeon.
Her ass is amazing.
What mental illness does she allegedly suffer from?
Bipolar.
This one?
Manic depression?
No.
No?
Schizophrenia. Could you imagine that chick being schizophrenic and bipolar? Like, it's no wonder Drake didn't tap that, because he taps everything else.
Drake
Like
is
every
the
locker
proudest
room?
NBA girlfriend I've ever seen.
He's the proudest every kind of. He's at every sporting event in the locker room. College is there.
James, I'm so happy for you. Oh
He was in the Kentucky locker room. He was in the UConn locker room. He's like fucking everywhere.
So he's like the Watchers on Fringe?
Did you hear that he was on
exactly. You made a Fringe reference. I thought you couldn't do it.
Did you see he was on the Jimmy Kimmel show dressed up in a different kind of like a visual altering costume, and he went out and talked to people on the street
Like
about
Kermit
what they
the
thought.
Frog?
No, he had like
Just
emo
hold
hair
on,
and a beard,
going home.
and he went out and talked to people about Drake. And they were just ripping the shit out of him.
He probably went home and he cried a lot.
He probably does that anyway. Have you listened to his music? It's sad.
Just hold on.
His new
It's not easy being Drake.
It's so bad, man. It's like his new album, Box of Kleenexes.
Charmin was a sponsor of his tour.
How much money did Robert Pattinson get for his last 2 Twilight movies? When you hear the number, you're gonna puke.
$6 million?
No.
60 million.
Nah, too high.
120.
That's way too high. It's $25 million.
That was 120 million pounds. It was right.
I think the pound is stronger than the dollar right now.
Everything's
You actually
stronger than
converted
the
that to
dollar.
be like $240 million.
The peso is now competing with the dollar.
I'm gonna go buy clamshells, and that's probably stronger than the dollar at the moment.
Sand dollars are stronger than the dollar.
Ariel's bra is currently worth more than the dollar.
Hobo clothes are more.
Hobo clothes.
So, our favorite actress,
Scarlett Johansson?
Katherine Heigl,
Oh, that bitch.
got inadvertently stabbed at a drugstore and claims that they're using her image to sell stuff. What were they selling?
Condoms.
No.
Morning after
Incident.
pill.
Nope.
My doll.
It was, I would believe that, but no. It was hemorrhoid cream. And does anybody know the lice medication, Rit? Rid. So it was hemorrhoid cream and Rid.
Snatch has a problem.
So she just went to CVS to go get some stuff for her kids or whatever, and they snapped her outside. Now she's got like a $6 million lawsuit against that drug company.
Of course she does. Yeah.
Because she's broke as fuck because she slammed Judd Apatow and not getting work.
Because actors need more money.
Makes sense. She's broke as fuck, man. She can't get work in Hollywood because she went out and did something stupid. She was already a bitch. She quit Grey's... and I'm not saying that out of personal opinion. I'm just saying that out of her Hollywood blacklisting. No. She went out there. She quit Grey's Anatomy. She slammed Judd Apatow after he put her in his movie with Knocked Up, and that was a terrible movie because of her. And Seth Rogen was gold at the time, so you could have sold anything with his face attached to it. You know?
You still can. I can't wait to see that movie Neighbors.
Yeah, that looks badass.
The movie with, what is it, The End of the World or something like that? That was a great movie.
End.
Oh, yeah, this is the end. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Just
see, I'm fucking Channing Tatum.
And that was hilarious. I got so much respect for Channing Tatum after that movie, man. When he pulled the mask off and it was Channing Tatum in the doggy style position, you'd be like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
When I gained the respect for Channing Tatum is when he did 21 Jump Street.
I love him.
I love that movie.
It was I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is. Yeah,
It's a remake of the Johnny Depp TV show.
I know what it is. I just haven't seen it.
Well, you need to be more specific.
And he was Johnny Depp was even in it too.
Spoiler alert, dick.
You get to be
How old is that?
Darren Rochambeau. Why is Mickey Rourke mad this time?
Blame it on the propofol.
No. Good guess, though. I like that. What about you guys? What do you think?
They wouldn't. Doctor wouldn't let him get any more plastic surgery.
He's mad because Mickey Rourke isn't on the front page of newspapers. Mickey Rourke died, lost the community, but he was like 94. So, but he's mad because another Mickey didn't get the spotlight. And he died. Like, how ridiculous of a celebrity do you have to be that when Mickey Rourke is like, Mickey Rourke's like, Mickey Rooney's not on the front page.
Yeah, Mickey Rooney.
He was funny.
Did you ever hear? I don't think
that was Andy Rooney. I'm sorry.
I don't think most people even realized he was still alive.
He was like
94,
Benjamin
man.
Button, man.
Crap.
No, he looked old as piss, man. I think you need to go Google his picture. What great Lord of the Rings actor died this week?
What?
Oh, shit. God.
You're never gonna guess it.
No, I won't.
Yeah, and then he guesses. I care to just guess anything at all.
Obviously, no.
No,
It's not Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen isn't dead.
I forgot.
How dare you put that curse on Viggo?
I'm sorry.
Oh wait, Bilbo.
Why is somebody
it's not
dripping
Bilbo either.
You fucking kidding me? Bilbo Baggins?
Hey, he's an old fellow, so
It's Shadowfax, the horse.
Yes, I did hear about that. They had to euthanize Gandalf's horse.
Anybody care to guess what the horse's name actually was?
Peanut.
Seabiscuit.
It was Blanco. And it wasn't a him either, it was a her. It was a mare. All right, why is the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer pissed at the feds?
Because he looks like Will Ferrell and they're trying to dock him on his tax rate.
No, it's a good guess, though. I like that.
Did he try and pick a fight with Will Ferrell?
No, he didn't try to pick a fight with Will Ferrell.
They stole his weed.
Check this out. In Guantanamo Bay, they were using Red Hot Chili Pepper songs on a loop to torture victims. Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, baby. I wanna take me to the place I love. No more. I'll tell you anything I want.
Take me down to the other side.
So it brings up an interesting question. What is your torture song? What song do they play on a loop to drive you insane?
Miley Cyrus, Wrecking Ball in G major. You
wouldn't stop playing it either, man. It's terrible.
I know it drives everybody nuts. I can't listen to more than 45 seconds of it. I can't like a wrecking ball.
Darren, what's your torture song?
anything by Katy Perry.
How dare you? She is a saint.
I didn't say I didn't want to fuck her, but I didn't want to listen to her
How
music.
dare you? Her music is the nectar of the gods. It is like Jesus came in my ear whenever I
You do
listen
like
to
chick
her.
flicks, though. I mean,
They aren't that bad.
what about you, Dano?
I want to say Xanadu by ABBA.
Oh, wow, what a great choice. That would drive anybody insane.
Let me guess, Matt. Yours is Zombie, Zombie, Zombie.
You're actually right. It is the Cranberry
I keep trying to play it on YouTube. I'm just like, oh, let me fuck with him. And he's like, do not play the Cranberries.
He tries to say it all the time, and I think you forget Blue Velvet, man, because that'll get you back. Yeah, there was the thing that happened where Cameron was torturing me with Nickelback in the car, and what I ended up doing is that I was so pissed that he wouldn't stop playing. What was the song you were playing? That one.
Yeah.
And so he kept playing it in the car on me because he thought it was funny. So what I did is I started subliminally plugging. I got him to start watching clips from the movie Blue Velvet. And if you've never seen the movie, it's just like the worst fucking torture, rape, dry hum.
Let me come back inside of your vagina.
It was a really bad movie, and Dennis Hopper's fucking whacked in it.
Rest in peace, Dennis Hopper.
So then I started to get his mom and his girlfriend, because what I was doing is I would talk to him Blue Velvet, and I would drop Blue Velvet into a sentence, and I wouldn't acknowledge that I actually said it, and so I was just kind of fucking with them, and so I would just be talking Blue Velvet, and I would never actually admit that I said it. And then I got his mom and his girlfriend to start doing it too. And then we would show up to parties, and I got them to start putting Bobby Vinton's Blue Velvet on the playlist. So it'd be like, in the middle of a party, some song like, Kid Cudi or something like that, and then all of a sudden be like, Blue Velvet.
They stopped when they did because I was going to stab him in the throat.
What was funny is that the next step was I was actually going to go to Walmart and buy a bunch of the blue felt material and cover his room in it. But that's where Blue Velvet comes from, if you ever hear us reference it again. But this is where we're going to wrap up the show, and we got to do our thing. So, Dern, what's your agenda, man?
Well, we were talking about soccer, but we didn't bring up World Cup. And we
Right.
still got, maybe, 2 months
2
ahead?
months, Darren. We have
No need to talk about it, because Germany's taking it all.
So you said.
We've talked about it on multiple episodes. We still
have.
have 2 months, Darren.
I know, but I'm trying to get the listeners
How dare you?
engaged.
How dare you try to engage these people? The unwashed masses. You're welcome.
Thanks, Damien Sandow. What's your agenda, man? World Cup.
Well, I think that, everybody's already basically lined it up as Brazil versus Germany. I don't think it's going to wind up being Brazil versus Germany. I think Argentina will figure into it at some point. And I'm going to go with the wild card of USA.
They're in my division, man. Go fuck yourself.
Well, we can be number 2 in the pool.
Yeah.
End up on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah. Have you seen her team?
Julian Green, man.
Not as bad as everybody thinks.
He's the great American hope.
You're in a very tough division with Portugal, Germany, and Ghana. Why is it always Ghana? I think that I actually say I've been saying this before too, that the USA has the best chance against Germany. The old master Jurgen Klinsmann versus what was it? What do you
Student
think?
versus the teacher.
It was Jurgi Love. Was the way they said his name?
Yeah.
I always thought it was Wacom Low, but it's apparently it's Jurgi Love, right? It shows you how German I really am. And
He's so German, he keeps ashes in his bedroom.
that's racist.
That's not racist.
Ethnocentric.
It's a bad time. We don't like to talk about
That
it.
was a long time ago, and we do not talk about it. It's like how when you go to Germany, you go to the museum, and they have this excerpt from 1935 to 1947, completely omitted from the history.
Nothing happened during this time.
Why don't you jump into my shower?
The Adolf Hitler versus Darth Vader epic rap battles of history are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Dano, what's your agenda, man?
Got none.
You
You have an
I don't
agenda.
have an agenda.
You fucking sleeper agent.
He's always
my agenda. That's my
I'm on
agenda.
the show, I'm British, I give no content whatsoever.
I just sit here and it's an excuse to drink.
I've buried enough members of the Wayne
I buried enough members of the Wayne family.
So, Cameron, what's your agenda?
Nancy Grace is my agenda this week. Nancy Grace had coverage of Ultimate Warrior's death the night that it happened, and she had Diamond Dallas Page on under false pretenses. She clearly did no homework because she attributed Owen Hart's death to drug and steroid use instead of, the 40-foot fall that he took.
Directly on the neck to the turnbuckle?
Yeah, so my agenda this week, hashtag cancel Nancy Grace.
Yeah.
Let's get that bitch trending. Let's keep it trending. Let's go. Let's get this over with. I am so sick of seeing that bitch on my TV.
How about the disgusting coverage of the Oscar
It was
Pistorius?
porn! She was looking at porn on his computer! Porn!
Oscar Pistorius' trial was out there, and they were, bringing up his internet history. She just wouldn't let it go. She was like, porn! It was porn! You definitely look at porn! Why can't you just say porn?
And
why wouldn't you talk about the porn? It's like, we're just trying to move to commercial, Nancy.
There was a point in the interview with Diamond Dallas Page where she asked him about the drug use by wrestlers, and he's like, yeah, the majority of people, almost everybody in wrestling did drugs and steroids back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And she goes, I didn't. I'm sorry, bitch. You were dating Michael P.S. Hayes. Ooh. That is the worst thing that you could ever do to your body. Having a fabulous free bird ravaging inside of that
his
steel
hot beach
trap.
syphilis.
Having a fabulous free bird inside of that dungeon that you call a snatch.
She opens her legs and bats fly out.
I'm sorry, but that bitch needs to go. Matt, what's your agenda?
My agenda is that every once in a while we end up losing somebody in our community, like the Ultimate Warrior. Even though he wasn't a great person, he was still somebody that in our childhood we kind of held near and dear. Everybody loved the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man and all those guys.
Yeah, dig it.
I'd like to see a little more respect for the past come back, and guys and people start talking more about the things that they really loved and remembered before these guys go away. Because I think that the Ultimate Warrior didn't get to find out how much people really did love him until he walked out there to that Raw stage and get to hear people cheer for him. And I think that a lot of guys like the wrestlers can't get out of their own way, step on their own dicks, whatever. But I think that if we spent more time, like we were talking about earlier, the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and you said Shawn Michaels, which I thought was perfect.
Yeah.
That is my Mount Rushmore of wrestling. But I think that if we go out there and kind of respect those guys that are legendary to us, like me, Jerome Bettis. When's the last time you heard anything from him? He just kind of fell off into existence. But to me, he was one of my biggest heroes of all time. That's the guy I ran like.
Respect them while we're here so we don't have to appreciate them when they're gone.
So we don't have to regret not appreciating them while they're gone. And that's my agenda, man. So take us away.
If you're not down with Media Rehab,
we got two words for you. Suck it!